It sound right, boys. Sound right, boys.
Hi, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. I had to back out and come back in again because for some reason, every single time I'm live, it's like it makes this robot voice. So if it sounds like that, let me know and I'll back out and come in again. Or it's just like this weird sounding. But I hope you guys are doing great. What's today? Tuesday, because I never know what day it is. So yesterday, I had to reschedule my live because I'm pretty sure it's worldwide right now. But we had like a hostage situation in my condo complex, and it was for 19 hours. Towards the end, because this is not going to be a long live stream, I promise. But towards the end, if I can find it, I'll show it to you guys. But there was a lady who had a concealed weapon. She had a 9-year-old in her home. And I guess that she does have some, she has like mental issues. Like she suffers from, I think maybe bipolar or something like that. And for a while we had to evacuate the people that were actually in that building, had to evacuate out of their windows for 19 hours, you guys. It was crazy. So that's why I had to reschedule. I'm sorry that I had to reschedule, but you guys will see that sometimes with me a lot. for those of you that are new, because I have 3 boys. One is 21, the other is 11, about to be 12, and then I have my little baby, he's 6, and they come first. So, but that's the only reason why I canceled it yesterday, because I really wanted to come live yesterday. But yeah, we're okay. I'm pretty sure they got the lady out, I think. Well, the standoff is over, but you guys, it was like thousands of police. I'm not even over exaggerating. Like, we have a bank right by our complex, and there were like SWAT cars all the way up to this bank. It was just, oh my goodness. And obviously their number one focus was getting her out of there for for her little boy who's 9 years old. I can't imagine what the little boy was going through, especially for those 19 hours. But thank God they were able to get the little boy out safe. She's safe. And I don't know what's going to happen from there. So I just wanted to tell you guys. So you guys have probably seen it on the news, though, because they are talking about it on the news and whatnot. But anyway, that was what I went through. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. My boys arguing again, of course. But I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. Welcome back to my channel. Let me see who's in here. Hey, Jamie. Good to see you, girl. Hey, Goose. How are you guys doing? Hey, Erica. X Sparkle F Babies. Yvette, it's good to see you in here. It's so good to see you guys. Okay, so let's get down to business here, right? So you guys know what this live is about. And like I said, I wanted to do this yesterday because, as I said, I'm going to continue to call KJ out on her bullshit when it comes to this case, and period. Like, I don't give I really don't care, because at the end of the day, hey, Missing in Life, how are you? It's good to see you. I really don't care, because at the end of the day, that girl does not belong on YouTube. She's dangerous, in my personal opinion. She doesn't care about anybody but herself. She's very problematic. She's a narcissist. She's greedy. She's an exploiter, whatever. Exploitive. I'm sure I'm not saying that word right. Just, she needs to be called out. I'm the type of person where I used to have empathy for her, but not anymore. My empathy for her was long gone. Like I said, with the whole Micah Stauffer thing, Tati, it's never ending with her. But this isn't like my first rodeo covering KJ. I've been covering KJ for a really long time. But I took a break, hoping maybe she'll get better. Well, that didn't happen. She just gets worse and worse. And I personally don't think that she needs to be covering this case at all. To me, she's trying to talk about, when it comes to this case, overall, I think now she's trying to talk about other things to kind of deflect from why this case started being talked about from the very beginning, if that makes any sense. And I'll show you guys that in a minute. But we all, tried to warn Justice for All and Molly Golightly about Without a Crystal Ball, like I said. And I feel like some people just have to learn things on their own. What I think is very interesting is how the audio, and this is like what? This was in the very beginning. This was in the very beginning of when her and Justice for All and Molly Golightly started kind of collabing together. And she text or whatever Molly Golightly saying that she has this audio, which the audio is really on her channel anyway. She has this audio and that her source is very particular and only wants that audio to be on her channel and only wants specifically her talking about it. Okay. Well, there was, I think, someone who was in communication with KJ and may have been part of the person who had given her audio. She was in contact with the person who had given KJ audio, and she said blatantly that she just wanted to remain anonymous. It had nothing to do with who read the audio, whatever the situation is. They just wanted to remain anonymous. That audio should be out there for all creators, okay? For any creator who has been covering this case. But of course, it's on her channel, and a lot of creators, which I've seen, even bigger creators, won't touch it because we all know how KJ rolls and she's shady. And if you take that audio, we don't know what she's going to do. She could strike, whatever, because it was given to her. And it sucks that it was given to her because these people, they didn't know her. So that it's not their fault. But so no matter how many times somebody is warned about a person, some people like to figure out things for themselves, including myself. I was warned so many times about Natasha Cooper. Everybody warned me about her. Teaya, no, stay away from her, blah, 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 blah. And I've seen her work and how she treats people, but I had to see it for myself. And when I seen it for myself, I learned the hard way. Some people have to learn things the hard way. And not that I'm saying that Molly Golightly is affected by anything that Without a Crystal Ball says or digs up on her, but we all know, any creator that talks about KJ or brings awareness about KJ, we all knew that this is what she's going to do. My biggest problem with Without a Crystal Ball is when she does something and she deletes it, she wants to pretend as though it doesn't exist, as if she never did it. It's deleted, so it's gone. No, just because you delete something, the internet is forever. Somebody's always going to get a screenshot of what you do, KJ. Somebody is, always. So some of you guys have probably seen this. Some of you guys probably have not. I'm pretty sure that I've seen it on a couple channels, but it's not going to stop me from putting it on my channel. But I do want to be clear here. This is not me defending Molly Golightly in any way, shape, or form. Molly Golightly is a big girl. She knows how to defend herself, and she does very well at that. This isn't me defending anybody, because I don't defend nobody. Well, I defend my friends. But this is me calling KJ out and standing up for what's right. So, welcome, Judy. Welcome to the Glam Fam, girl. Thank you so much. Welcome. Molly doesn't care. She showed KJ's mugshot and it was wonderful. Yes, exactly. She can defend herself. Like I said, I don't need to defend her, but this is me calling KJ out. So I am going to obviously pull something up real quick for y'all. Yes, welcome, Judy. I'm so glad to have you, sweetie. Okay. What was I going to do? Oh, sorry, you guys. Wait, let me make sure I have it on my computer. Let me just see something real quick. Talk amongst yourselves, everyone. I just have to make sure that I have this on my computer so I can send it. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so first let's start off with this. And like I said, we already knew that this was going to happen, but I'm just going to pull this up since KJ wants to pretend like she never does anything wrong. Hasn't done anything wrong since this case started. She wants everyone to get along. She wants everyone to work together, blah, 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 blah. That's a lie. Because if she really wanted that, then why would she do this, right? So let me share my screen. Let's share the screen here. Okay. So let's start off by reading this. And this was, if I'm not mistaken, this was like a week ago. I'll show you guys the exact date, but this is like a week ago. Without a crystal ball. Please, everyone, I'm not doing this anymore. I do not want to be associated with Marissa. I do not care if she talks about me. I had no clue about her arrest. FBI embezzlement charge, New Orleans arrest, police reports for taking a photo of a child inside a church, trespassing. That's not me. The woman that helped Vaughn's mom get a lawyer, Brittany, went to prison for impersonating a lawyer in 2015. She has 4 convictions for theft, fraud, etc. She was sentenced to 2 years in prison. I want Letitia to see her son, but I'm worried about the people helping her. I have all the info on Brittany's criminal convictions. Marissa's arrest are documented. She was able to get out of the FBI charge by doing a pretrial diversion program. Whoops, that's me. Sorry, you guys. It's a profile picture. Hold on. I got to go back. I'm not going to go back yet. Hold on. Let me bring up the rest, okay? Because I think there's more to it. Yeah, there's more to it. And I don't want to leave anything out. Okay, here's the rest. So she posts up these pictures of Molly Golightly. The FBI knows about Marissa because they literally know who she is. I was told Dre told someone that she reported Molly to the FBI. If you care about this case, please focus on Vaughn. Quit the sideshow. I want nothing to do with these people who are turning this into a circus. Okay. Okay, so let's respond to that. Like I said, this is in no way me defending Molly Golightly. She's defending herself. I will show you guys her response. But this is the pure example of how problematic without a crystal ball is. First of all, I'm pretty sure all of that stuff or none of that stuff is true. I don't think any of that stuff is true. But even if it was true, what does that have to do with this case? What does that have to do with Molly Golightly bringing awareness to this case and trying to help Letitia get an attorney, trying to help the family? Why even bring those things up? Well, this is why you brought it up, because you're jealous, KJ. You're jealous. You're jealous because Molly Golightly is doing a great job with bringing awareness to this case. Other creators are doing a great job as well, just as good as Molly Golightly. But I'm saying Molly Golightly, having the platform that she has, is doing a great job. Where versus you, KJ, having the platform that you have, you could have been doing a really great job too. But you are the one who chose to turn this case into drama. If you weren't about drama, then you would never have posted anything like that, period. You wouldn't have went and tried to dig up somebody's past, because let me tell you something. Everyone has a past. Everyone does. Some people's past are more severe than others, but everyone has a past, including yourself, KJ. You're trying to say that you don't want this case to turn into a circus, but what do you think that is when you are causing so much drama and bringing up people's past and bringing up somebody else's past? What do you call that? Do you call that not creating a circus? Because that's what you've done from the very beginning of covering this case. You didn't want anybody else covering it. That was your problem. You got jealous because you see how much awareness Molly Golightly and Justice for All are bringing to this case. And that's what you didn't want. You didn't want that. You wanted everybody to come to you because you have the bigger platform. You wanted everybody to come on your channel. You wanted the sources to come on your channel. You only wanted Letitia to talk to you. So you trying to discredit Molly Golightly and whoever else was in there, you trying to discredit her is because you want to be the center of this case. And instead of just doing your own thing, bringing awareness, you're trying to pretend as if you did not do this, but you did. You did. You're trying to pretend as though I'm all about bringing awareness to this case and please everybody, let's just focus on this case. So if you cared so much about this case and that's the only thing that you're worried about, then why did you post that? You dirty deleted it, of course, because you're trying to get another lawsuit. You're trying to get another motherfucking lawsuit because you already got 2 of them, 2 active lawsuits. So you putting that on there, I'm going to go ahead and guess that you were advised by your motherfucking attorney to take that shit down. Because you cannot just say those kinds of things about people. You can't dig up somebody else's past. You did that to discredit her because you thought, and your ultimate goal was, you were going to be the only one that was the center of attention of this case. Now, I want to be clear here, okay? Nobody should be the center of attention when it comes to this case, period. This case is a very sinister, dark, very, very emotionally driven case, okay? And I think the more creators talking about this, the better, period. It's not about just one creator. It's not about 2 creators. It's not about 3. It's about as much creators talking about this case as possible. Preferably, obviously, it's always great to have bigger creators talking about it. Like, I would love to see my favorite YouTuber, Lovely Teaya, cover this case. Okay. One of my other favorites already covered this case, which was Paris Milan. Love me some Paris Milan. Her opinion about this case was a little bit different than others. Okay. She's entitled to her opinion, though. She is. She's entitled to it. So her opinion was a little bit more harsh, but it's still her opinion. And she is just a very, very highly intellectual woman and channel. Absolutely love Paris Milan. And I was so happy when she chose to cover this case. And she's a bigger creator. Also, another one of my favorite creators. I would love to see Bailey Sarian get on this shit. I would love that. Obviously, when bigger creators get on it, that's great. You know what I mean? But just because you are a bigger creator doesn't make you any better than a smaller creator. Okay. The only thing, and this is not in every case, but the only thing that a bigger creator offers, obviously, is a larger platform, right? So, therefore, it's not about just one creator, it's about all creators coming together. But that's not what you wanted without a crystal ball. And you tried to do whatever you can to deflect and cause a diversion. And what did that ultimately end up doing? Blowing up in your face. Period. I don't know if I screen recorded Molly's response. I think I did. I don't know if I did. Hold on, let me see if I did. Hold on one second. Okay, I thought I had Molly's response. I don't know where I put it, but if I find it or if anybody has it, you can send it to me. But basically, it was Molly showing a picture of um, Katie Joy's DUI mugshot, which was pretty priceless to me. Let me see if I can find that shit. That shit was funny. Hold on. Okay, I found it, you guys. Hold on. Let me share my screen. And let me tell you guys, make sure you drop Llama Girl in the chat. Llama Girl is always on it. Love her. She's like, seriously, where is she at? I love her. Can you guys see that? Okay, just making sure.
Okay. So this is a pissing match? It's a personal pissing match? Wow. Okay. All right. You're the one that's got to look at yourself in the mirror? Wow.
Let's just see if we can get a hold of him. But from now on, we're not going to talk about who we're going to have on.
Very toxic, poisonous person.
Apparently. My God.
Wow. Don't announce anything next time, right? I know. Yep, here you go.
There's ever how many
Wow.
storming here.
Wow. Okay, you want to know something? How about we check in and see how Miss Letitia's doing? That's what I'd like to do.
I don't think that one was it. Somebody has to send it to me because I don't think that one was it. But it was pretty priceless, and I've seen that you guys seen a lot of it or seen it already. So it was pretty funny. I don't know if that was really her or not, but it was really funny to see. Okay, let's bring up something else. And this is where Katie's hypocrisy it's ridiculous. It's like she wants to pretend like she never said anything, but we all know she did, right? We all seen it. I just showed it to you. But of course on Facebook, it's different.
Connection was super poor, so I'll just start over because I had to delete the other one. For some reason it said I had a bad connection and then it just like logged me out. So sorry about that again. Totally in my scrubs right now.
Also, just to tell you guys that you'll probably hear some stuff in the background because when I screen record, for some reason on my Mac, it picks up background noise and I can't figure out how to stop that background noise. So I'm sorry if you hear my kids in the background and stuff like that. Just try to focus on KJ, okay? Well, let me rewind this here. Okay. Hold on, what the hell happened to the sound? Hold on, I'm gonna bring it back up.
Like the connection was super poor, so I'll just start over because I had to delete the other one. For some reason it said I had a bad connection and then it just like logged me out. So sorry about that again. Totally in my scrubs right now, wearing my like scrubby Led Zeppelin shirt, not trying to be impressive at all. So what I was saying was that I talked to Vaughn's stepmother, Wynette, today, and I was given a Cash App. If you want to donate to Marvon Sr. and Wynette, They liquidated their entire savings when they found out about Vaughn in the coma, and they drove from Savannah, Georgia, all the way to Arizona. So they left and came home with like only a couple of dollars to their names. And if people want to help them out, please feel free. The Cash App is actually $winners, WINNERS 1970. So that's if you feel moved to help them. If you don't. I never want to push it on anyone. I just want to use my platform in any way that I can to help in any way that I can. So that's up. She has no idea. I asked today if there was a status on Vaughn. Does anyone know where Vaughn is? No status update on that at this point. So I can't really tell you like where Vaughn is or what's happening with that. And there's this other weird thing that's been happening, and that has been that there's like these weird rumors that are like going around, and I don't know where they're coming from, because I have honestly, for the most part, just been like, my head's down. I've been trying to help a bunch of different people. I've been investigating.
That's a lie. If that's the case, then why did you just post this? And also, why did you lie on the sources that gave you the videos? You lied. I'm sure that those sources would want a lot of people to bring awareness about those recordings. However, you said that they only wanted it to be heard on your channel. So how is that you not starting anything or not wanting any trouble? And if you didn't want any trouble, why would you post that about Molly? It's the principle of it. If you make no sense. You're lying again. Just because you delete something, Katie, does not mean it goes away. So take responsibility for your actions. You did that on purpose. You knew damn well when you posted that, people were going to see it. You knew that.
Investigating. I've been doing like pulling court records. I've been, finding information for people, finding videos, trying to source information. So I haven't been watching like any other people, but I keep getting these messages from people, and they're like really aggressive in my inbox. And I don't know why people are so mad at me, because honestly, all I've been doing is just like sharing the story at this point. So like today, someone sent me a message and they're like, "You're so messy. You were talking about this person." And I'm like, I don't even know what that's about. Like, I didn't even say that. And then somebody else sent me this message and they're like, "You need to stop talking about this story because their family blocked you and they're not going to talk to you anymore." And I'm like, what is this about? Like,
nobody wants to talk to you, KJ. You did that to yourself. You did that to yourself. People know that you're not credible. People know that you fabricate things. People now know the real KJ. So people are watching this in real time. People seeing what you did. You can't reverse that. You can't erase that. It is what it is. You are the one who brought yourself into a place where you continue to lie. You continue to keep talking about this case, but to me, you're trying to deflect from certain things because we don't even know. You've been lying this whole time. Nobody knows if you even talk to anyone at this point. Nobody knows because you keep lying. First, you said you did talk to the father and Letitia. You were in direct communication with them. You said you were in direct communication with the family. You also said that you talked to the biological father and his stepmother. But then come to find out you're not speaking to these people. So you're the one who keeps lying. You're the one who has made it this way for yourself. And it didn't have to be this way, but this is just the way you are.
Why I got like 5 messages in a row that I was blocked by this family. And I'm like, that's definitely not true. I literally just talked to them this afternoon. So I don't know where this is originating. Frankly, to me, it's just unnecessary. I think it's so easy in these situations to get like have creators like fighting and like different pages and fighting, and none of that matters, because honestly, it just comes down to like helping the family, right? So if we're all like doing our part to get the story out, we all have different platforms. We all have different platforms, and we all have different places to go. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna just keep doing what it is that I'm doing. I don't have like any interest in any of the back and forth with anyone. I just want to do my job. So like if you're sending me messages and they're super, super aggressive, I'm just probably gonna delete them and not respond. Yeah, like we don't need to be making up rumors. Like truthfully, I think it's great that Molly has been able to get so many people on her channel, and she has been able to like get so many different interviews, and like she's been able to advocate and raise a ton of money for the family. Like that is phenomenal. Like that's amazing. I tip my hat off to her for like doing that, because you know, I'm not a live streamer. Like that's just not my thing.
Oops, sorry, you guys. So why would you do that then? Why would you post all of those mean things and post something that happened, I'm sure, with Molly a decade ago, saying you don't, and calling out somebody else and doing the shady things that you do? Why would you do that then? It just doesn't make any sense. If you are so happy about, you know, what Molly has, you're happy that Molly has brought attention to this case, then why would you put her? It totally contradicts everything that you're saying right now. That is one of my biggest pet peeves, you guys. Okay. One of my biggest pet peeves. My number one biggest pet peeve is ignorance. I don't like ignorant people. I don't like people who are rude, ignorant, have no tolerance for it. And the second thing is people who pretend like things don't happen. Pathological. To me, it's a pathological thing with her. Like, you're such a pathological liar that you forget your own lies. And it's like, whenever you do something, if you delete it, it's gone. I can't stand that when it comes to creators, because you can't do that. Like, I know that there are some times when you may post something that you may not mean to post. Okay. Me as a creator, let's just say I post something about somebody, and then I say, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. That was wrong. Then I delete it. But I'm not going to pretend like I didn't say it. I'm going to probably write a message or do a community post or a post, whatever, and retract it and say, look, you guys, I'm so sorry that I said what I said. I shouldn't have done that. That was wrong on my part. I just wanted to let you guys know that that was wrong, that I did that. But not her. It's, you post something, you wanted people to see it, but you delete it, and now it's like it never happened. That just bothers me so much. I agree. Delusional. She's delusional, but in the same sense, it just drives me crazy. Thank you, Sherry. Sorry. Let's continue.
I'm more of like a making videos kind of thing. And all I want to do is just like tell the story. So, you know, if you like live streaming, watch her, you know, cool. So at the end of the day, I just want to help who I help with what else. Anyways, so right now, I'm just going to keep focusing on that. I have 3 new videos up on my channel, just normal content. On, you know, I did 2 videos on the Duggars, and I did a Little People Big World video today.
Those are my kids in the background, just to let you guys know. They're okay. They're wrestling.
All I'm trying to do right now is like, I don't want to like I don't want to do a video on YouTube every single time something happens. I mean, anyone that wants to do that is fine. I'm not judging what anyone else does. I just run my channel differently. And so I'm kind of waiting on a few things. There's some things that are going on in the background, and I've just been waiting for those things to happen. And when I have that information, I'll share it with you and I'll do the video at that point. Right now, there hasn't been any changes with the kids. There hasn't been a change that I know of with Vaughn. So there just hasn't been enough for me to be like, okay, we need to, like, I'm so frustrated that the police haven't done anything. I'm frustrated with DCS. I'm feeling like how all of you guys are too. So all I want to do is, like, please don't, like, let's just all stay out of the drama. I don't need messages of someone says this about me or someone says that about me. Like, it doesn't matter. Everyone, let's focus on Vaughn. Let's focus on the kids. Let's focus on the advocating for the family, for, you know, helping make sure that the story gets out further, spreading the story wider. This is a Marine that's on life support. You know, there's little kids that are still impacted by this right now. So let's just focus on that.
What's really a shame is, I agree, Ange. If she was more wholesome and honest and admitted her mistakes, probably people would actually be fans of hers. I used to be, until she dragged LB through the mud for nothing, then everyone else too. I agree. I used to be a supporter of KJ as well. And then when I seen how shady she is, it's a shame, because it didn't have to be this way for her, and it technically didn't have to be this way for her with this case. I'm sure she would still be collabing with Justice for All and Molly Golightly, but she brought this on herself. No one is going to want to work with somebody where they want to be the first ones to get credit for everything, and it's blowing up in her face now. And that's why she's trying to retract everything, but not admitting to her wrongdoings. That's why she's doing these things, because it's blowing up in her face now. Nobody wants to talk to her. Nobody wants to tell her anything. If you weren't so shady, people would probably want to work with you. If you weren't so shady, you would have more sources, and you wouldn't have to lie about talking to the family. But literally all you do is lie. What are you doing for this case now? What exactly are you doing? Okay, you are talking about Dre. You're talking about the things that Dre did in the past, what other creators are doing. But if you weren't trying to act like Little Miss Big Shot and that you own this case, this wouldn't be happening. Period.
So right now, what I want everyone to get along. That's all I want, is everyone to get along. That's me. I'm like, don't like this kind of stuff. I just want to do my job. So at the end of the day, the updates are, I don't know what's happening with Vaughn. I'm not sure what's happening with Vaughn at this moment, but hopefully Letitia can get some answers soon. And I just want to focus on, like, I was talking to someone last night about this. Story because there's so many layers to it. So, you have the Vaughn situation. You have her using her Facebook to sell products that are not regulated by the FDA and pretending that she's a doctor. You have her giving these products to kids. You have her groups that she's telling people to give these products to kids. You've got the kids that are stuck in a really bad situation. You have a woman that has a husband that's on life support, and she's telling people publicly, my biggest priority is my husband, and the kids are like going through the biggest trauma of their lives, witnessed the trauma of their stepfather almost dying, and that those children have not had any counseling. Those kids have seen some of the worst things in the world, and they've received no therapy, none. That should outreach everyone. It should outreach everyone that these little kids witnessed such significant trauma, and now they're living in an RV with 5 dogs, 4 people, and they're like not in school, like they're just, there's no stability for them right now, right? No stability. And that's what has been keeping me up at night, like thinking about the kids, about like, oh, these poor kids, they're like in an RV and there's these dogs, and like mom is like losing whatever she has left of her mind at this point. There hasn't been any updates that I've been given about Vaughn's medical situation at this point, so I can't say yay or nay what's happened. I didn't hear that Vaughn's dog found him first, but that's I don't know how that would, I don't know. Is that true? That's not in the police report. Where did that come from? I don't want to say that because I don't know if that's true. Oh, and then there's this, yeah, I've never seen that before. I can only go off of what's in the police report, and that's definitely not in the police report. So the next thing I wanted to say is that there was a video that was put out, I think it's of Marvin Sr. Sitting at the hospital, and he's like saying like there is a family that cares about Vaughn, and he's not alone, and we love him. And that was taken when they were in Arizona in June. So people are like, oh, this is so confusing. Is Marvin Sr. in Arizona now? No, the video is actually from June, and it was when Vaughn was actually in the VA hospital. I think the
Oops, sorry. Here's the thing, though, without a crystal ball. If you are doing research on this case, then you would be doing research in all aspects of this case. And if you just want to get along with everybody and all of those kinds of things, then you would know that there's a new police report. So is it that you just maybe didn't watch or something? I don't know. You know, in her defense, I can say maybe she didn't watch it. But the point is that if you're doing research, like you're supposed to be doing, you know, because you're the reporter, right? Not, but anyway, then you would know that there's a new police report. So, yeah, that's something that you would probably want to know if you're technically saying that you are stopping at nothing to do research and get justice for Vaughn and all of those types of things, then you would know that, right?
the pages or whatever just released that video today. Yeah. So there's a lot of just, it's a hard story to follow. Okay, if there's so much that I don't know, I can only share what I do know. And I'm not, you know, it's.
But if you're doing research on this case, Katie, then you would know those things. What are you doing? Are you so jealous that you can't even watch Molly just to see if she has any new information? Like, you shouldn't let your jealousy stop you from doing your job.
It's not a competition about who knows more and who knows what, you know?
No, it's not a competition, but you made it a competition. It didn't have to be a competition, but you chose to make it a competition. You chose to make it a competition by saying that nobody wanted audios put out there except for by you, by sources. And those sources admitted and said, that's not true. They just wanted to remain anonymous. The more people that know about it, the better. But if it's not a competition, no, it's not a competition to you now because you've been lost. You've been lost a long time ago. You lost all credibility. But if you are doing research, then what kind of research are you doing? Are you that in distress about jealousy that you couldn't even watch Justice for All. Read the police report on Molly Golightly's panel, and it's complete. It's a new police report now. Is that what it is? Just asking for a friend.
I don't know. At this point, oh, Dre said that about the dogs? Oh, geez. Okay, I did a post last night for people yes. I have no ego here. I'm just trying to help. Okay, I'm gonna like scroll my comments away. So I did an update yesterday about DCS, and I just wanted to explain to you how the DCS process works in Arizona. There was some confusion, and someone actually got mad at me in the comments, and they said I was lying, but I literally took the information right off of DCS's website in Arizona. So what happens when an investigation is opened is they do what's called they send out a letter of like initial whatever. It tells them like there's an investigation and this is what's happening, and it gives the parent their rights and tells them like, listen, like if you don't cooperate, that's not automatic grounds for the removal, but like you should cooperate, and it won't stop the investigation from happening. It'll tell them like what they can expect, what their rights are of the process. And it is also very, very clear that through the process, it's not about removing kids. It's only about removing kids in the most extreme circumstances. So DCS in Arizona is not about ripping families apart. They try their best to provide services and support to families in need. And if children have to be removed for the safety of them,
Sorry, you guys. Now, what did I just say? Oh, you're literally describing what CPS do everywhere in the United States of America. With CPS, Child Protective Services, they literally do everything that they can to keep the children with their family. That's always their last choice, unless it's a severe situation. That's always what their ultimate goal is. They always want to keep the children with the parents. So you're not saying anything new, and it's not just in the state of Arizona. That's everywhere. Just saying.
that happens, but it only happens in the most severe cases, and they have to do removals by like a committee. So I posted some links to help you helps explain the process, because people were frustrated about why things haven't happened sooner or faster, and it's just unfortunate. Like the government, nothing happens fast unless it's like a dire emergency, unfortunately. And for everyone paying attention, this feels like a dire emergency. I get it. So I wanted to share that information so that you could see like this is the process for DCS in Arizona. It's not to say that this is exactly what's happening. It's more like this is the process. There is an investigation. It is 100% going on. Once you're under investigation in the state of Arizona, as long as the case is open, you have to listen to what they're saying. So if they make a request, like you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this, like they give you a list of things that you need to do, you have to provide that to them. And if you don't, you can actually get in trouble with them, even though they say that they're not going to take the kids. It doesn't help you if you don't cooperate. So if you don't cooperate, it can make things worse. And they can actually put stipulations and things like, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, we will take the kids. If you do X, Y, and Z, but it's a process of trying to help parents restore the home and themselves so that the child can be safe.
I agree with that. That girl, there are definitely situations where the children should be taken. It's a frustrating situation. Look at the case with Gabriel. I cannot remember his last name, but Gabriel, he should have been taken out of his home. Maybe he would still be here today. I think that is the discrepancy when it comes to CPS, is that they want so much for the children to stay with the parents, but in the same sense, it's like, it's a tough situation. It's a tough situation, but I agree. And in the beginning, she was definitely caught so much in her lies. I remember when she said, she was the one who said that she had 10 days, that Dre had 10 days to do something. Who was it that said that? But regardless, she's the one who said that she had all this information about the CPS and blah, 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 blah. And now she don't know nothing. She has no information about anything. That's because she was caught in her lies. She's trying so hard. That's why she keeps going live on Facebook, you guys. Exactly. They said that she had 10 days to have the kids see a doctor. Exactly, Erica. And that came out of KJ's mouth. 10 days that she had to see a doctor. Now, how she would get that information? Well, she said she was getting it from a reliable source, which was the dad. All of these lies, but now she knows nothing, right? She had all these sources before, but now she knows nothing. That's because people started really calling her out on her lies with this case fairly early, you guys. Exactly, that girl. She's always backpedaling. She's always, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to me. And like I said, it wouldn't have been this way for her if she just would have been normal. Normal. And normal means just don't lie. Don't make everything about you. You are not the only one who's reporting on this case. There's amazing people out there, you guys, covering this case. And you're not going to be the only one, and you don't have to be the center of attention. But because she did it like that, it blew up in her face. And now she's backtracking with everything. You said you had so many sources. Where are these sources? Because if you had sources, then how come you didn't know that there's a different police report out there? How come you didn't know that? I will be playing that police report too, you guys. Okay. Where? Oh, play. Sorry.
Now, in cases where that's not possible, then the children are removed. So, unfortunately, I've been part of stories where this stuff has gotten involved, and it can take a long time for things to get resolved. Like, I don't know if you guys followed Bodie and Janny. They were from Schofield. They were from the show on TLC, Born Schizophrenic. Their mom lost custody of them, and it took over a year for her to lose and have her rights terminated. I think it was 18 months total. So they try and they give parents as much time as possible, but eventually if mom or dad doesn't comply and it's in the best interest of the children, they will terminate. But it's, again, the most serious situations. And that case was similar in that she was creating illnesses and pretending like her kids had all of these diseases that they didn't have, and she was over medicating them, a lot like what's happening with the Dre situation. So right now all we can hope is that everything gets done, and as long as CPS eyes are on it, nothing serious happens. Now, that doesn't impact anything else that could happen if other people petition the court or other things happen where other people want to step in and be like, I'll take the kids kind of thing. And mind you, if Dre wanted to, she could let someone else watch the kids right now, if she wanted to, so that she could take care of herself, right? It's just complicated. It's never black and white in this world. So that's the situation with that. I shared a post about Kratom earlier today. not to like get the Kratom folks mad, there's been a lot of information shared by Dre about the benefits of Kratom on this page through the videos. And so one of the families, or a sister of a brother who is addicted to Kratom and has like his whole life has been upheavaled, been completely.
What the hell is she babbling on about? Like, you are talking about stuff that we already know. You're not giving any new information. You're literally just repeating yourself over and over and over again. Every live, it's completely the same thing. You're not giving anything new. So what is the point of this live stream? I'm just saying. I don't understand it. You don't talk to anybody in this case. You've been lying the whole time, and you're sitting there like stuck on I don't know what, because nobody believes you. You did this to yourself. It didn't have to be like this for you. And now you're talking about the same thing over and over and over again. Hey, Magician's Manor, it's good to see you. It's to keep her in the algorithm, in my opinion. Probably. And I also think that she's trying to appease to Dre's audience, that she'll reverse them somehow and they'll turn against Dre and all come over to her and support her, I guess. Whatever.
Looked upside down by it. She just asked if I would share something that was on the opposite side of it, so it would like alert people of the warning signs of it. It wasn't to be like everyone that uses Kratom is bad. It was more like, okay, there's been a lot of information about Kratom on this page. Can you share something about what people should be concerned about? And I said, sure. Well, then people got mad at me, said I was being against Kratom. And I was just trying to share the opposite side. So I try to be as balanced as possible, because even if I have an opinion on a story, it's still your job to make your own decision about what you think. And you can't make your decision on a story if we only show one side of it. So like, again, I was sharing, Dre's friend reached out to me, and I don't agree with what the friend said, and I certainly don't buy her story, but you know, it gives you the opportunity to hear what they say. You don't have to believe them. I don't have to believe them, but like, it's the other side, and it's irresponsible to not show all sides. We've heard Dre's side, and now we know what her friends are saying. They're kind of brainwashed, in my opinion. So
thank you, Lynette. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Love you. Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate you.
That's where things stand right now. I'm trying to do this really fast because I got to put my son to bed. So again, let's not focus on let's just focus on the tasks at hand. If there are specific things that are being said about me, I can only tell you, like, if it doesn't come out of my mouth, if I don't say it, it's probably just a rumor. So let's just focus on this.
Oh, Lord Jesus. So if it doesn't come out of your mouth, then it's just a rumor. So what if it comes off your community tab? Is that just a rumor? It comes off your community tab and you delete it. Does that mean it's a rumor? I don't understand. So basically, if you say something about somebody and you bring up their past and all of that kind of stuff and you delete it, it didn't happen. And if it didn't come out of your mouth, then you didn't say it. Got it.
Situation, no fighting, no arguing, everyone just get along. Everyone's platform is needed in a story like this. Every single platform has different people that are interested in listening. So just go to whatever platform that you feel comfortable on and listen to whoever you want to listen to. Take it from 12 different sources. Do whatever you need to do to get the best, most well-rounded, component of this situation. At the end of the day, like, the more people that spread the story, the better. And in my opinion, there's room for every single person. I would love to see a humongous creator come forward. I would love to see some of the huge, Kendall Ray. I would love to see Kendall Ray get her hands into this, like, or Bailey, Bailey, you know who I'm talking.
Sarian. Bailey Sarian. Get it right, okay? How could you forget her last name? That's the only place where I do agree with her. I just said that. I just said that before she did, because I love Bailey Sarian. Well, you guys know I love makeup, so how could I not love Bailey Sarian? And Kendall Ray, she's amazing. I love Kendall Ray. So I can honestly say I agree with her on that. But I don't agree with her on anything else. On anything else, she needs to go ahead and take several seats at a stadium. Okay, let's go.
About Bailey to get her hands in it. It would be great to see like a huge creator get involved in this. Okay, well, if you have new info regarding the police reports, feel free to send them. I gotta go tonight. But yeah, sounds like a serious case of Munchausen's by proxy to me. And again, let's just be nice to each other. Be kind. I love Kendall. Yeah, she's good stuff. All right, you guys. Bye. I'm not reading. I'm reading the comments right there. I saw you said, "Are you reading the screen?" No. Well, okay, yes. My computer's right over here, and I'm looking at the clock, which is in the corner, because I have to go get my son to bed. So when I look off to the side, someone said, "Oh my God, when she's looking off to the right, she's lying." No, actually, when I look off to the side, it's actually to my left. I'm looking at my computer because I'm checking to see what the time on the clock is. And I also have a video that is processing and going up on YouTube right now, so I'm paying attention to that. I'm just Bailey Saren. Yeah, I'm just trying to do everything at once. I'm kind of like, I gotta go. All right, you guys, bye.
Quit lying. You know darn well you're going to go back on those comments and delete every single person that said something mean. We all know that you are. Don't front. Anyways, you guys, I wanted you guys to see that. If you weren't here earlier, just go ahead and rewind, because I was basically showing what KJ did to Molly Golightly and also another person named Brittany, and I don't know who that is, but to bring up somebody's past, and I think she left it up for a little bit and then deleted it. But now all of a sudden she doesn't want any trouble. She doesn't want anybody to say anything to her or anything like that. But to me personally, she's doing nothing now but exploiting this case, repeating the same information that we all know. And like I said, if you were a good researcher, then you would know that there is a new police report out. The lies that come out of her mouth, no matter how hard I try to find a little bit of empathy for this woman, it's very hard to do so. Okay, Brittany, I'm sorry. I didn't know who that was. But saying things about those two is wrong. Like I said, I'm not defending anybody in any way, shape, or form. I'm just defending what's right. And her coverage on this case from day one has been her showing her greed, her showing how selfish she is, her showing how exploitative she is, her showing just the type of person that she is. And I just feel like you can't be mad at people because now they're calling you out. Now people see the type of person that you are. You just can't help yourself without a crystal ball. No matter how hard you try, you just can't help the fact that you are a shady creator. And all you're doing is lying. And of course, like Magician's Manor said, probably she knows the algorithm. That's why she's, going live or whatever, but you're literally saying nothing new. You're saying the same exact thing that everyone else has said. Something you started saying when you first started covering this case. And if you're going to do it, if you're going to cover this case, there's a difference, obviously. You're covering it, but to me, no, you're exploiting it. If I was to go and look at your Facebook right now, I guarantee you it would be nothing but Dre Mccray. Nothing but Dre Mccray. And you're trying to divert, because the point is justice for Vaughn, bringing awareness about Dre, but not only that, getting Letitia to see her baby, to see her son. That's why this case started being talked about. And now you're trying to divert everything by talking about the children. And I understand, I do feel like the children definitely, and I don't even like to talk about children, but I will say I do feel like the children are in a bad position right now. And that's just my opinion. But that's not what this case is about. If CPS is involved, then let them do their job. All you're doing is repeating the same information over and over and over again. You have nothing new. You're not calling. I don't even see you really calling Dre out on her past behavior. You're just talking about the same thing over and over and over again. She posted, and then I seen another post where she said that there is a woman who recently woke up out of a coma after 2 years. I don't know if you guys seen that, but she woke up out of a coma after 2 years. Now, let me tell you something. In the beginning of this case, Without a Crystal Ball was adamant. Vaughn is not waking up. He's not waking up. There is no chance. Like, she was so negative about the situation. But now she's changing her tune. She's trying to change up everything with herself because people see her now. People see her for who she truly is. Nobody wants to talk to her anymore. You know what I mean? So, of course, she has to change her ways of thinking. Not even her ways of thinking, but just change her image. She's trying to change her image, but it's too late. And I think it's amazing. This woman woke up out of a coma after 2 years. And I've always and will always say that miracles happen every day. I will never sit here and say that there's no chance for him. I'm not a doctor. I don't know that. And I do believe in miracles. I do. I'm a witness to it. So, but she was adamant. Oh, no. There's no chance for him. There's no chance for him. But now, since she's seen that this lady woke up out of a coma after 2 years, oh, there's always hope. But you weren't saying that in the beginning with your cocky ass, were you? You weren't saying that. I heard about that yesterday. She said her brother did it to her. It was awful what he did. Yes. If the prognosis is actually what we've been told, he probably won't wake up. If he does, he won't be normal probably ever again. That's true. But I still believe in miracles, and I still believe that, from my religious aspect and my belief, I believe that miracles happen. And that's all I will say. I know that his prognosis is not good, but in my opinion, I believe in miracles, and I believe in hope. I pray to God every day that this man wakes up. I do. I really do. Even though the prognosis is not good, and that's just reality. That's what she does with every story, including the Duggars. I know. She was saying that she doesn't watch other people on this case, so she doesn't know what's being said about her. The narcissist in her is up all night searching her name. Heck, she's watching now. 1 year ago today, she also exploited another family. I want to know why Katie isn't giving that money to Letitia or Mr. Jackson like the other creators. So she's given money to other families, Lynette? I did see that she did donate. She did say that she donated, which is great. She's a semi-big creator. I'm sure she could reach out to bigger creators, but we know she won't. Exactly. She is. She's a semi-bigger creator. If she wanted to, she could. Definitely. Nothing new from her is not new. Right. I do believe she said she was live streaming for it because that's the audience for this case. That's true. She did say that. And to me, I think that there's a motive behind that, though. I think that she's trying to appease Dre's audience, because how awesome would it be for her if a majority of Dre's people somehow undrank the Kool-Aid that they drank, undrank it, whatever, and seen the light and came over to Katie. It makes sense. Yes, she is lying through her teeth. She's been lying from day one. First she said she was talking to the mother constantly. She said she was in direct contact with mother. She even said after every video that she always got the approval from Vaughn's family. Okay, so she basically said she was in direct contact with the family. But now she's doubling down on that and saying that she is in direct contact with a friend of the biological father of the two girls. Okay, she is in direct contact with Dre's ex-husband, but not her ex-husband, his friend. There is nobody that she has actually claimed. Well, let's just say there's nobody that she is in contact with, but from the very beginning, she was saying she was in direct contact with the family. That's the biggest lie of it all. And then I heard, and I'm pretty sure somebody said this in the comments, that she keeps trying to contact the family. Now, this is allegedly, that she keeps trying to contact the family, but they don't want to be bothered with her. They don't. God is alive. My daughter had 5% chance of life, and she is about to be 7. Oh, that is wonderful, Anastasia. That is beautiful. That's just the same thing with my mother. They only gave her 3 months. 3 months when my mom was diagnosed with cancer, and she lived for 16 years. So I have to believe in miracles. Like I said, I was a witness to it. So I'm not going to sit here and say there's no chance for him. I'm just not going to say that, because I know miracles happen every day. I hope he does, and he can tell us what the fuck happened and be free. That would be awesome. If she controls his medicine, controls his medical, I don't see how it could happen. It seems like she wants him that way. The woman definitely has Munchausen, and I'm not saying that right, but something ain't right with her, allegedly. It's crazy, this whole case, and I understand the people's interest in this case. I've never seen anything like this before in my life, and I'm not a true crime channel. I cover everything, but covering this case, I have covered different cases before, and I've seen some wild cases, but this case, I think because it's so documented and there's so many videos, it's overwhelming how many videos are out there. And I think that's why this case is so crazy, because being a supporter of Dre Mccray back in the day, and I used to enjoy watching her back in the day, how she does makeup and all of that kind of stuff. Me being a supporter of hers and almost watching her whole demeanor kind of deteriorate, it just, something changed in her, and I stopped watching her. And then to just, boom, all of this happens, and she literally filmed her whole life. And people love that. And that's why I think people started really watching her, and why people loved her, because she was so personal. You know what I mean? That's what people love. But in the same sense, there has to be some boundaries. You know, when you're a vlogger, you might as well say she was a vlogger. There has to be some kind of boundaries. And If I was sitting there watching that, which I stopped watching her, but if I was sitting there watching some of the things that she's doing and being on camera while her husband is in the background having 7, 8 seizures, there's no way. I don't understand how the people who watched her, I just don't understand how they could be just like, wow, I don't know. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I've never seen a case like this before. KJ seems kind of deflated, like she knows she blew it with this case, not hyper like she was with. Exactly. Her whole demeanor is changing. She is not as cocky as she once was. She's not. She's trying to backtrack. She's trying to make sure that she lets everyone know that she isn't in direct contact with the family. But that's what you've been saying from day one, right, KJ? You've been saying you were in direct contact with the family. You don't lie about things like that. You know what I mean? You don't do that type of stuff. They have all blocked her. She has to backtrack. I didn't know if they all blocked her. I didn't even know that. But if they have, then that means, leave them alone. My brain just goes to the fact of what he did and how long he went without air. Each circumstance is different for sure. Anytime someone survives against the odds is amazing and should be. Exactly. Should be celebrated, but people should also be realistic, just my opinion. And you're entitled to it. It's not about being realistic. I get what you're saying, being realistic. People have to look at things for what they are, and what they are is his prognosis is not good. But I think believing in miracles has nothing to do with being realistic. It just has to do with believing, I never say it right, believing in believing in what you believe in. And everyone's beliefs are different. Some people's beliefs is they go by scientific evidence. They gravitate more to science, and some people don't. Some people don't gravitate more to science. Some people gravitate to God creates miracles every day. Everybody's thought process and mindset is different. Yes. That's just how I was raised, how to look at things. But I understand that the prognosis is not good. But it wasn't good for my mother either. That is crazy. You used to follow her tea. All this has to make you feel sad. It does. But it also, I'm not going to lie. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised at the people who watched this, but I'm not surprised that that's why I stopped watching her, because something changed in her. I don't know what it was, but I just wasn't interested in watching her anymore. I think a lot of it had to do with she was growing, and it really started getting to her head, and she was really cocky, constantly blocking people. People couldn't ask her questions. She used to get mad at the chat a lot. Just different things like that. It's just something changed in her, and I just stopped watching her. And it's sad. It's sad that she is going through this, but in the same sense, she did this to herself. And if she is, Munchausen by proxy is a sickness. That is a mental thing. And there's definitely something there. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but it's just the things that she has done on camera is unbelievable to me. That's what's so shocking about this case. Everything that she did right in front of thousands of people watching her. It's crazy. We can understand what science says, but we still have hope for a miracle. They have happened before. Prayers or positive vibes, whatever you believe in, and them too. Yeah, I got you, Goose. Exactly. I know. And some people believe in science, and obviously KJ is one of those people. I believe in science to a certain extent, and then sometimes I feel like God comes in. That's just my opinion, though. and that Teaya has been calling out without a crystal ball for a long time, couple of years at least. Yeah, it's been a while. I have been on every one of Molly and Justin's lives. We are literally not talking about her over there. We are focused on raising legal fees for the family, not her. And that's good. And yes, I have been talking about Without a Crystal Ball. She's the reason why I started commentary on my channel. Yes. Thank you, that girl. Oh, I know that's that girl. I was just clarifying that Molly wants this to stop. It's all good. She is trying to stop, but I'm not going to stop calling her out. That's the thing. I'm going to call her out on whatever it is that she does, period. She removed her Cash App from her post on Facebook tonight. Really? What family? You talking about she removed the Cash App for Letitia, or did she remove the Cash App for the biological father and stepmom? I feel like sometimes all we do when we keep people on machines is torture them. That's what happened with my friend Brandon. It was awful. Also, people who have woken up and relayed that it was. Yeah, that's true too. I feel like this is a different situation, especially with the unknown of what happened and both parents not being able to see him yet. True. I think it's important for his family. Well, the dad has seen him. However, the mother has not. And that it is important for her to see him, especially during this time. And in my opinion, you guys, I don't think she ever wants to pull the plug. That's just my opinion. I don't think she ever wants to. Just don't let anyone keep me plugged in. Please, dear God, no. I do truly hope he gets a miracle. He deserved to be happy. Exactly. He deserved to have a happy life. He sure did. That is when I stopped watching her from makeup to jewelry. She changed up. Exactly. Yeah, she changed up. I don't know what it was about Dre, but something happened with her. And I do think it had to do with her growing, but I also think it had to do with a lot of other stuff too. I remember when she used to be really good friends with Nay the MUA. I remember that. Sorry, you guys. My allergy settled on my throat. Annette Allen, if you check out Tia's playlist, she covered Without a Crystal Ball for a while and calls out her bad behavior and hypocrisy. She has a pattern of doing this. Exactly. That's what I'm always going to do. It doesn't matter to me as far as I will always call her out. Just like other creators call her out, I call her out too. And you know what? My fiance said the same thing, that girl. He said the same thing as you. He said, don't keep me on that. I probably wouldn't listen to him. I'm not going to lie. But he said the same thing. He does not want to be on tubes and all that kind of stuff. You know, everybody has their own beliefs. And we all just have to respect it. God is the great physician. Absolutely. Hey, Alex. How are you? Alex, someone. The comment you tagged me in, Goose. My brain isn't understand what you meant, Goose. The fog is thick tonight. Are you connected to Vivian Sanchez? No. Thank you for asking, though, Alex, but no. Oh, she did mention in this video. So if they blocked her, then that would be why they took it down. Maybe that would be why she took it down. Maybe, Jamie, you're right, because she did mention because they don't want anything to do with her. That might be why she took the GoFundMe down, but that's still petty. Why would you take the GoFundMe down? Just because they just don't want to be bothered with you. So if they don't want to be bothered with you, why would you allegedly take the GoFundMe down? You want to help the family, right? So if you want to help them, what difference does it make? I think she would keep him plugged into until his body stops and won't allow it. Yes, that decision isn't easy. It's not chronically be queen bee. That's just my opinion. Like my fiance said, don't do it. Don't do it with me. Take me off that stuff. I personally would not. That's just like I wouldn't keep his parents away from him if he said, don't let this person see me. Don't let my parents see me. I would never do that. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I'm just that type of person where I want to do what's right, and I don't freaking know. I'm just a defiant little bitch, I guess. I don't know. Wasn't Bobby Brown's daughter on life support for a while when she didn't have any brain activity? I think so, Annette. I think so. No, she is not connected to anyone. Teaya is her own woman. I'm not connected to her. Oh, you're right. I don't know where that question came from. If you want to elaborate a little bit, that would be great. But no, I'm not connected to Vivian Sanchez. Her version of helping them comes with this stipulation. Exactly. Yes, both mother and daughter gone too soon. Yeah, that's another story that needs to be talked about, because that story, you want to talk about crazy? Wow, it's just crazy. So I want to show you guys something else really quick. I'm glad all my night owls are up with me. I want to show you the response that Molly had given. Okay, so the stepmom told her to take that info down. Okay, so the stepmother told KJ to take the info down about the GoFundMe. The stepmother told, and I have somebody who's seen the text messages for herself, and the stepmother told Katie to take the info down of the GoFundMe app and all that kind of stuff. Okay, there you go. There's the info right there. So Goose can confirm this, that KJ took it down after Wynette, the stepmother, told her to, and to stop contacting her. She can confirm this. So that's why, you guys, she took the info down, because it was she doesn't want any ties to KJ anymore. So she told KJ to take the info down. So they don't want nothing to do with her anymore. And she did that to herself. She did that to herself. She has nobody else to blame but herself. And that's her situation. And whatever. That's what she gets. I wouldn't want anything to do with her either. Sorry, you guys. I'm just saying, like, the KJ brought this on herself. It didn't have to be this way, but she did it to herself. And I have no kinds of feelings about that. And I give zero fucks. So hold on. I'm about to bring something up real quick. I'm going to bring this up. Wait a minute. Never mind. Okay. Thank you for sending this to me. So this is the response from Molly Golightly. There we go. I don't think that that's KJ, you guys. But that was Molly Golightly's response because she showed, Molly Golightly's pictures from the past. So Molly Golightly showed that, which I don't blame her. But this is allegedly, I don't think that this is Katie at all, but this is what she showed. So looks like her. Okay, I'm going to bring up one more thing. Oh, that's funny as shit. Okay. There is something I want to show you guys real quick.
So the product.
Hold on one second while I bring this up. I needed that laugh too. Oh my gosh, I haven't even come on camera yet. But sorry guys, I like to be professional and come on camera, but it don't always work out like that. I'll come on camera in a minute. Hold on. Hold on, you guys. I'm trying to bring up something. And I can't find it. Of course. I wanted to show you guys something real quick. Let me read some comments. Excuse me, I used to be a 911 operator for 6 years, straight leaving to put her dog away. That's what I'm trying to bring up. I need the timestamp for it. Does anybody have the timestamp for that? Because, oh, never mind. My mod's getting it for me. It just doesn't make any sense, you guys. So I want you guys to hear it. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't think it's that long. And we will be talking about Munchausen by proxy tomorrow. For any of you guys that are familiar with it, I might open the panel. So I think I know a couple people who have that. I think I've grew up with somebody who had that. Thank God nothing happened, but her child was always sick, always going to the hospital. And it was sad, it was really sad. And there's a story too where this lady did this, and ultimately her child passed away because of it. It's very, very serious, and it's nothing to play around with. Obviously, I cannot remember. If I find out, I will let you guys know. Maybe we'll even do a story about it. KJ should come up with a warning label. Does not play well. Oh, that's funny. It's true. I think from the very beginning, you guys, she never really collabs well with others. Who did she collab? Who was the first person that she collabed with? Who was the first person that she collabed with? Was it Sherelle? I think it was Sherelle's World. Horrible. She did not. That was horrible. Then it was BX Beast Boy. That ended horrible. I'm pretty sure she doxed Sherelle's World. Steve. LB. Yeah, I think Steve was first. I think he was the first one. And then she accused him of something very serious, which is sexual harassment. Thank you, Goose. Sexual harassment. Who else did she collab with? So it was Steve. It was Sherelle's World. BX Beast Boy. LB. Was it Preacher Boy? The weird guy. Dang, I can't remember. Yeah. There's others, you guys. I just can't remember the others right now, but there are others. The name is on the tip of my tongue. I just can't figure out who, but it was a lot of people. She just can't collab with people because she wants like all of that attention on her. And because she wants all of that attention, literally, yeah, I think everybody's like, it's on the tip of my tongue. Backwoods Barbie. Yep. Keemstar, did she collab with him? Annette, I didn't know that. What's his name? Charlotte on the web. The guy that she doesn't get along with. What is his name? Oh my gosh, that's gonna bother me. Somebody please tell me. Okay, thank you. Yeah, we're forgetting it. Unirock, that's it. She collabs with him. I don't know. Aren't they getting along now, though? I think they're getting along now. But yeah, there's so many. Like, turn this up a little bit. There are so many, and she just doesn't work well with others, you guys. Like, it's just, she has to be the center of attention. She lies. She will do anything to make sure that she's the center of attention. And if it doesn't work out in her favor, what does she end up doing? The same thing she did to Molly Golightly. She'll dig up your past. I've been warned, like I told you guys, I'm going to bring awareness about her. I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks, because I always have, and I'm going to continue to. And there are so many people that are like, Teaya, just be careful. She's sneaky. She's dirty, just like you said. And you just have to be careful because she will dox you. She does not care. She has no empathy, no self-control, no self-awareness. I know that she has recently just doxed a few creators, including Charlotte on the Web, Renelle, who's like, listen, if you're going to be problematic, people are going to call you out. And that's the end of it. It is what it is. Change being problematic and people won't call you out. It's not okay, the things that you do. It's not okay. And that's what commentary channels do. So hold on, let me see if I can find this real quick and talk amongst yourself for like a few seconds.
Know if Dre Mccray took the rope off the shoulder of a firefighter. I did not see any rope. Due to take him off the ventilator on 5/27/22.
Mccray. For complete details, please refer to my body-worn camera surveillance video uploaded to blank.
For those of you that don't know, this is a newer police report. I think this is like the secondary, maybe supplemental police report. And it's different. So I want you guys to listen to this real quick, okay?
Evidence. Andrea Mccray stated that she and her husband have been married for approximately 8 years. They have one child in common. but he raised her 2 older children. Marvon Mccray suffered from blank, 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 and blank. In 2019, he went to a physical therapist, all redacted. When he went to the therapist, her husband's demeanor changed and he became someone she did not know. She said they always got along up until this therapy. Then he would change and become verbally abusive to her. At times, she would leave the residence because of
she's reading the old part. There's a lot of new
there's more
information.
There's more.
A lot.
Can we just be a little patient?
Yes, please.
I just wanted to.
Okay. What Molly is doing right now is reading the old police report, and Justice for All is going to read the new police report. So I think it's going to take a minute or so for Molly to read the old police report, and then you're going to hear the new police report, which is pretty sad and also doesn't make any sense. So this is the old police report that Molly is reading, and Justice for All is going to read the new police report. And I want you guys to hear the new police report because the majority of you guys have already heard and read the old police report.
To be thorough, I know that you guys have heard some of this, but
we're just giving it. Not everybody's. A lot of people's just coming into this case. Good.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about.
Get the children situated and then go to the hospital. I told her I would write an informational report to document the incident. I told her I would go back to the shed to document the area. I went into the shed and noticed a rope on the floor where Marvon Mccray was. I collected the rope and later placed it into evidence. I noticed the chair she mentioned earlier. Okay, this is where, sorry. The main beam went across the center of where the shed from the opening to the back of the shed. I videoed the shed from within using my body camera. I drove to the Yuma Regional Medical Center to check on Marvon Mccray. I was told he was on a ventilator and getting scans to his head. I was later informed that Marvon had been flown out to Phoenix Hospital. I learned he was flown to the Veterans Hospital in Tucson. I called and learned that Marvon was still on a ventilator and medication, but still showed no signs of brain activity. They were going to take him off the ventilator on 5/27/22 to see if he would still be able to breathe on his own. Okay. Here we go. On 7/8/22, Detective Escott requested I assist in obtaining the YFD run report for the case for the City of Yuma Fire Department. On 7/11/22, I contacted the Fire Department administration. I was told they would send me a record request form to fill out and return. I received the form and returned it filled out. On 7/13/22 at 928 hours, I received the information from the fire department. I printed the report and placed it into evidence. I also placed a copy of it on Detective Escott's desk. Digital media. This is where it starts the new
stuff. Okay, so we just recapped everything that we knew that we thought was haphazard or vague. So this is all the new stuff that you guys don't know yet. And Miss Letitia is in the chat and she's watching.
Okay. Please be very respectful to the family chat. Be sensitive about what you say. Think about it if you would want it said to you. Digital media. Yes. Body-worn camera footage has been captured and submitted into the Yuma Police Department Digital Evidence Management System, also known as DEMS. Human memory and perceptives has limitations, and video evidence may depict events differently than the report writer perceived during the event or recalled at the time of the writing this report. The reporter writer did review the video in whole or in part before writing this report. Narrative on 7/8/2022 at approximately 1420 hours, I arrived at the Yuma Police Department to complete a supplement for this case to expand information contained within the original report. Andrea Mccray stated she went outside and found her husband, Marvon Mccray, hanging in the shed. She did not describe exactly how he was positioned when she found him. The shed was a basic two-door shed made of metal material, approximately 10 feet by 14 feet, and approximately 7 feet tall at the center. There were 3 metal beams across the top inside the shed. Although it had rust within its walls, it appeared to be sturdy. The beam appeared to be sturdy enough to hold Marvon Mccray's body weight. A rope could fit into any of the ridge beams due to the ridges on the shed's roof, allowing a rope to pass through. There was an old stool within the shed, which I believed was the one that A. Mccray said she stood on to cut Marvon Mccray down. I do not know if Dre Mccray took the rope off Marvon Mccray. When I looked over the shoulder of a firefighter, I did not see any rope due to Marvon Mccray's position in the shed and the firefighter blocking the entryway. I was unable to see any rope around Marvon Mccray's body. I did not see any marks on Marvon Mccray's neck due to him being too far away when I first saw him. I located the rope on the center floor of the shed after Marvon Mccray was taken away to the Yuma Regional Medical Center. The rope appeared to be a natural fiber manila rope. From the loose end to the noose, it was approximately 4 feet in length. Trigger warning, please. The diameter of the rope was approximately 1/2 to 1 inch. I was unable to tell if it was new or old, but it did not appear to be frayed. I did not speak with the firefighters because I was with Dre Mccray while they worked on Marvon Mccray, and they left afterwards. If a person is requiring their service, we typically let them do their job without obstructing them. I do not know what Marvon Mccray's body position was when the fire department arrived at the shed. I arrived a few moments later after the firefighter I saw entered the side yard. The period Dre Mccray provided starts at approximately 7:15 a.m. when she saw him going to the bathroom. They came home, or sorry, pardon me, that's wrong. The call came into Yuma Police Department at approximately 8:28 a.m. She stated they spoke with one another but did not provide an exact time and how long. She described Marvon Mccray hanging from the rope with something coming down from his mouth. She tried to lift him using a stool. When I did see within the shed, Dre Mccray told me Marvon Mccray was about 2 steps inside facing the front of the shed and slightly right, which would be facing northwest. She said she cut Marvon Mccray down. She did not see any injuries, but saw red, which she believed to be blood, on his left clavicle. Her eldest daughter heard her scream and came outside, but according to Dre Mccray, her daughter did not see Marvon Mccray. So she was not able to corroborate Dre Mccray and Marvon Mccray's positioning. Dre Mccray's children were inside of the residence during the interview. None of them came outside. Although not seen, I could hear children inside the residence, but their voices did not sound agitated or distressed. Dre Mccray stated their arguments were more of a disagreement due to her trying to answer his questions calmly. I did not believe there was anything very disruptive when they had their disagreements, because I believe it would have upset the children and I would have at least heard them crying or yelling, which I did not. While speaking with Dre Mccray, I asked if Marvon Mccray had tried this morning. Sorry, I asked her if Marvon Mccray had tried this before, meaning the S word. She stated a couple of months prior he tried hanging himself in the closet with a belt, and the closet broke. It is unknown if the incident was reported to law enforcement. I did not ask any further questions of Dre Mccray regarding the previous S attempt. Dre Mccray stated she cut Marvon Mccray down with one of her husband's knives. Looking at the rope, the end did look like a knife was used to cut it. I did not collect the knife because the way the cut of the rope corroborated with Dre Mccray said. My investigative focus was on the attempted S at the time. Therefore, I did not ask Dre Mccray where she obtained the knife. I did not ask her to show me the knife. I never saw the knife. It was my belief the knife was used solely to free Marvon Mccray from hanging in the shed. I did not take photographs with my Yuma Police Department issued camera because I used my body-worn camera to capture the scene. By using my body-worn camera, I believe it would capture the entire scene better and clearer than using my issued camera. I did not go inside the residence due to what I believed was an attempted. I did not go inside the residence due to what I believed was an attempted S. Marvon Mccray is substantially larger than Dre Mccray is. If Dre Mccray and Marvon Mccray were in a physical altercation, I believe I would have seen some type of injury on Dre Mccray. If a physical altercation would have happened within the residence, I believe the children would have been upset, yelling and crying, which I did not hear. There was multiple items on the pathway to the shed, which did not appear to be disturbed. The shed looked like a typical shed with the items every day, with items everywhere, but there was dust over everything, indicating no disturbance. The stool was in the shed and stated by Dre Mccray. I do not believe Dre Mccray had the upper body strength to lift Marvon Mccray. All these indications led me to believe the intent was an attempted S. I later went to Yuma Regional Medical Center to check on him, but he was at an x-ray when I arrived, then flown to the Veterans Hospital in Tucson afterwards. I did not see Marvon Mccray while at the Yuma Regional Medical Center, but Officer Reed later mentioned he saw an abrasion on his arm. Okay, I need to take a minute because there's a lot more. I just need to drink. But Officer Reed indicating no disturbance. The stool was in the shed and stated by Dre Mccray. I do not believe Dre Mccray had the upper body strength to lift Marvon Mccray. All these indications led me to believe the intent was an attempted S. I later went to Yuma Regional Medical Center to check on him, but he was at an x-ray when I arrived, then flown to the Veterans Hospital in Tucson afterwards. I did not see Marvon Mccray while at the Yuma Regional Medical Center, but Officer Reed later mentioned he saw an abrasion on his arm.
Of her.
You, as a public official, a public police officer, in my opinion, should take every precaution. Everything should be dotted and crossed. No assumptions, because the children inside didn't sound upset. Well, what if this happened on the daily for them and nothing, account spelled Rangle. This is another detective, Iguinae. This person's a narrative. Where's Marissa? I'm waiting for her to get back.
Okay, so not for nothing, but.
All right, almost ready.
Yeah.
Narrative. On 7/8/22 at approximately 1420 hours, I arrived at the Yuma Police Department, YPD, to complete a supplement for the case. To expand on the information within the original report. Dre Mccray stated she went outside and found her husband, Marvon Mccray, hanging in a shed. She did not describe exactly how it was positioned when she found him. The shed was a basic two-door shed made of metal material, approximately 10 by 14 and approximately 7 feet taller at the center. There were 3 metal beams across the top of the shed. Although it had rust within its walls, it appeared to be sturdy. The beam appeared to be sturdy enough to hold Marvon Mccray's body weight. A rope could fit into... Is this exactly the same? Hold on, I gotta check something.
LB, I invited LB up. LB, so.
Oh, hold on. I was reading the wrong one.
All right.
I think so. Let me check.
This is tough. This is...
Its walls, it appeared to be sturdy. The beam appeared to be sturdy enough to hold Marvon Mccray's body weight. A rope could fit into... Is this exactly the same? Hold on, I gotta check something.
LB, I invited LB up. LB, so.
Oh, hold on. I was reading the wrong one.
All right.
I think so. Let me check.
This is tough. This is not... Oh, God.
Okay.
LB, so.
With the front door facing north. The front door was located toward the west end of the home. The front of the home had a concrete sidewalk running east to west. It connected the driveway to the east side yard gate. The front yard consisted of a concrete driveway on the west side and sand on the east side. There were 2 black pickup trucks parked in the driveway. One was on the west side of the driveway, one facing north, and the truck parked on the east side was facing south. Behind the pickup truck on the west side of the driveway was a bumper pull camper hitched side to the north with the awning extended.
Okay.
There was a black 4-door sedan parking on east side of the driveway facing north behind the truck. In the sand area of the front yard, I saw a picnic table, 3 lawn patio chairs, and 1 small patio table. Officer Reed was standing at the side yard gate on the east side of the home watching Yuma Fire Department personnel. The gate was made of wood planks and was connected to the wood plank fence that ran along the property. I approached Officer Reed and stood with her. I saw the Yuma Fire Department personnel was performing CPR on what I believed to be the male. I could not see very much due to the small confined area and the number of Yuma Fire Department personnel tending to the male. After a short time, I started moving a bunch of items that would hinder their removal of the male. These items were covering the sidewalk, which led from the shed area to the front sidewalk. The items I moved were approximately 14 orange-colored traffic cones, a section of styrofoam board, and 2 bulb shop lights with no bulbs installed, 1 fluorescent light bulb which appeared to belong to one of the shop lights, 1 flat piece of cardboard box, and I bent over a section of chicken wire. I removed these items from the sidewalk area and placed them on a pile of other items on the east side of the sidewalk. These items were sitting in front of a small wooden shed just north of the metal shed Yuma Police Department personnel was in front of. The small wooden shed did not have any doors on it. The items I moved did not appear to have any involvement in the attempted S. At one point, I noticed Yuma Fire Department had placed the automated chest compression machine on the mail, and it appeared to be working properly. I stayed outside the fence area to the front of the home until after Yuma Fire Department removed the mail. I did not see much of the mail as they carried him past me and placed him on the gurney. He was covered by the automatic compression machine and the tarp-like material used to carry him. I did not move in closer to get a better view because he was surrounded by Yuma Fire Department personnel who was situating him for transport. I did not want to get in their way. After Yuma Fire Department started moving the mail to the ambulance, I walked to the metal shed. The shed looked to be several years old and was constructed in sheet metal. It appeared to be approximately 8 feet by 10 feet in size. I believe the roof's peak was 6 or 7 feet high. When I looked into the metal shed and saw a piece of brown rope inside it in the center of the floor area, the rope appeared to be made of natural fibers and was made maybe 1/2 inch thick. I did not examine the rope. The construction of the center beam for the roof of the shed was of metal, I believe aluminum, and appeared to be strong enough to support the person's weight. After leaving the shed area, I walked up to where Officer IG was talking to the female. I stood there listening to their conversation to gain a better understanding of the incident. The female was talking about her husband's past mental health issues, some medical issues, and marital issues. For details of the conversation, see Officer IG body-worn camera video. While standing there, Officer Reed approached us and told us that the Yuma Fire Department was transporting because they were able to detect the heartbeat on the male. I did tell Officer Reed that I saw a piece of rope in the shed. After listening to the female explain his past mental health issues of the male and the marital problems between them, I believed at the time the male did attempt to commit S by strangulation inside of the metal shed. I did not talk to the wife, Yuma Fire Department personnel, or enter the home. I cleared the scene at 9:09 hours. Okay. So that's another account. 8:28. So they weren't even there for 45 minutes.
Really? Not even 45 minutes. Just like that.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You know, there's a video of her saying that when the police arrived, he didn't have a pulse. There's a video of her saying that. She said he was DEAD, but according to the report, they said he did have a pulse.
So they got there at what, 8:36? I think it's 8:34, 8:36, and that police officer was gone by 9:09.
Okay. That is the new police report, you guys. And I think that's from 2 different police officers. 45 minutes is not enough time, in my opinion, to do a full investigation. And that's just my opinion. I'm not a police officer or anything like that, but it does sound very weird to me, for one. For 2, another thing that I wanted to say is, hold on. So, another thing that I think is very, very strange is that why did it take so long for this officer to do a supplemental police report? Vaughn has this happen on May 23rd, and the supplemental police report did not come out until July 8th. That's weird. That's very weird, and I don't I don't like that at all. Okay, so I am going to drop the link in the chat really quickly. If anybody wants to come up, you're welcome. I'm not going to be on here very much longer, but I do know that that is a very, very long time to do like a supplemental police report. I don't like that at all. And wow. Okay, so another thing that I want to say also is that without a crystal ball, when she played the recordings of, obviously, the recordings that only the source wanted her to read, okay? When she played those recordings, hey Goose.
Hey.
When she played those recordings without a crystal ball, in those recordings, I noticed something that was off. Dre kept saying when they were arguing that she wanted for Vaughn to fix the closet because according to her, Vaughn got mad and broke the closet. But if you listen closely to those recordings, you could hear her doing something to the closet door or something like that. But I remember Dre Mccray saying that she needed for either the door to be took off the closet or for him to fix it to where it didn't look like it was broken because it's too much trauma for her. It's too triggering. And to me, I question that because I'm like, a closet door being broken, that's triggering to you. But in the same sense, I think maybe that's why she said that in the police report, as far as he already tried to do this once before. But in my opinion, who would try to do that with the closet?
Well, and it's
man,
weird.
Hold on. The man is 6 feet tall. Why would you try to do that on a closet door? Okay, go ahead. Go ahead,
Sorry, I had muted myself. So I thought it was weird because at one point she tried to tell people that he had punched it. And then another time somebody had said that she said that she had told like her group of ladies or whatever that allegedly she had punched it. So I just thought that was really strange. I also thought it was weird how like everybody's saying 31 minutes. So you think about it. So I don't think this part of the video is maybe played, but she made the call at 8. It was like 8, I think like 8:28 or something. And then they were dispatched, I think at 8:32. And then they arrived at 8:38. So when an officer gets there, you usually like you pull up in your car and you either log in your computer and you let dispatch know you're there, or you radio it over. So that means that would have been the time, the 8:38 when they got there. And then when he would have left at the 9:09, he would have radioed out. So if you think about that part, an officer usually pulls up in his car, parks, gets on his radio, says, "Hey, I'm here, I've arrived." Then they get out of the car. Then he would have to walk up to the house, figure out where to go, in the gate, then go all the way, because the layout of the house, the gate to get into the yard is on the opposite side of where the shed is. So he would have to go to one side of the house and then walk around the house and go all the way back over to the shed. And there is one part in there where he talks about like seeing like something about Dre having that she had stopped giving CPR because she had to put the dogs in. And I wonder if like she said that to him and he caught her on the way when he got there, or if like she just told him that, because to me that was a little bit weird, and it wasn't really put into the police report very well. Like it didn't say like, oh, when I arrived there, she wasn't doing CPR. It said something like she had stopped doing CPR and she was putting the dog away. And my thought was that would be the perfect excuse if he comes in the gate and catches her at the door, like saying something to her kids. Oh, well, I had to put the dog away, so that's why I stopped. And so that kind of had me wondering. And I was thinking, it really wasn't 31 minutes that the officer spent there, even talking or interacting or anything, because he had time that he had to park and get out and then walk to the scene. And then when he was done, walk back. So it's more like even, 25 minutes or so, which is just ridiculous. It was so sad because like, there was a point where Vaughn's mom said something like, my son wasn't even worth 45 minutes of their time. I think you're muted.
I mean, honestly, my closet door being broken triggers the heck out of me. Well, my closet door being broken, it may bother me, but it's not going to trigger me. Sorry. It's not going to trigger any kind of emotions in me because my closet door is broken, but that's me. It may bother me, like, fix that closet door because it looks a hot mess and I have OCD, but I'm not going to be triggered or like, you know what I'm saying? It's something that stood out to me when she said that. Like, it's triggering to see that closet door like that. I don't want to see it like that, almost as if something traumatic happened. And that's the way she made it seem in the recording. But as far as the whole situation, to me, I feel like with this report coming out, it's a way for the police to save their ass, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Because when their first report came out, it was not thorough. Okay, this one is a lot more thorough. There's a lot more details in it. It wasn't like that in the first report, for one. And with all of these things going on, of course, the police department, is it Yuma Police Department?
Yes.
They're gonna want to save their asses and make sure that they covered every premises, everything that they were supposed to do, because that's what they should have done from the very beginning. Okay. I feel like if you don't, your time is compromised when it comes to an investigation, for one. Okay. If you don't take care of it at that moment, or at least the next day or something, time is of the essence when it comes to things like that. You don't know what could have been contaminated or messed with or anything when you do something like that, or rewrite the report or whatever it is that they did. There is a lot of questions. Why didn't you take the knife? Why did you not take the knife? That's my question. And also, what stands out to me is, that Vaughn is significantly bigger than Dre. So wouldn't you be questioning how she got him down? Like, there's just so many things that stick out to me. But the little time that they were at the scene is the biggest thing. And no, people don't, and this is me, I will always say I'm not going to use like the Black Lives Matter movement or anything like that when it comes to this, because I'm not exploiting stuff like KJ would. But I will say is there definitely would have been a lot more investigation. Things would have been a lot more thoroughly researched if this was a white man. That's my opinion. And they did absolutely nothing, in my opinion. Go ahead if you have something to say.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I agree with you on that too. And I think it's strange that, one of the officers, so first off, we have to remember this happened on May 23rd. Why did it take until July 8th to put out a supplemental report? That's over 6 weeks later. Also, I find it really ironic that the YouTubers, when things started to get bigger, that was on July 6th. So I find it a little bit strange that, I guess the report came out on the 7th. But I just think that's odd. And then also, so you wait 6 weeks and then it's like all this stuff starts happening, TikTok, YouTube and everything. And then there's a supplemental report that comes out, and then this comes out. And my thing is like, okay, usually your memory is better when you're there. So maybe the one thing the guy had to do was look through his body cam footage or something like that. That would make sense. But he doesn't even talk about, like, in my body cam, I noticed X, Y, and Z. He talks about like, oh, for this interview or whatever, look at my body cam, So I almost wonder, like you're saying, if it's like a little bit more of like for them to cover their ass a little bit. And then I also wonder, like, one of the things they talked about was that the kids seemed like they were okay. Okay, well, I don't know. I think if, like, let's say, for instance, I went outside and I screamed and my daughter came out and I told her to go back in. And then next thing you know, there's like a fire truck and an ambulance and a bunch of cops that show up at the house. Don't you think it's strange that the kids never came back out? They never even came out to say, like, and so that makes me wonder, when she put the dog in, or that's what she says, she put the dog in. Mm-hmm. But like, I feel strongly like at that point, if there was any shady business going on, that's the perfect time to say something. Because I guess there was another part in the report where one of the kids came out and said something, and it was really weird too, because the way the officer wrote the report, it was hard to tell, like, if this was just all coming from Dre, or if he heard one of the kids say, like, oh, my dad told me not to go out there. But there was something like that in the report. And so I thought that was weird. And it was hard to tell if it actually came from Dre or if it came from the child.
Hold on. Annette, I'm not making this about race. If I was making this about race, then I would be going on and on about race. All I'm saying is the obvious. And I feel like if this was a different situation and it was somebody who was white, they would have taken more time with this. Okay. And if you don't believe that, that's your choice. But I know what I see. Okay. And I'm entitled to my opinion just the same as you are entitled to yours. I'm not making this a race issue. I'm saying if I was making it a race issue, you would know it. Okay. I'm not saying Black Lives Matter, let's go protest, making this all about race. This is about Vaughn. I'm just stating the obvious, which I am allowed to do on my channel, which means I do feel that there would be more attention and the police would have paid more attention to this case if this was a white man. Okay. It doesn't take a genius to look around you and see the cases that are focused on and the cases that are not. But we're not going to get into that because I'm not making it about that. I'm just stating the obvious, and that's just my opinion, and I'm entitled to it.
It's also very uncommon too, from the research that some of us have done. It's really uncommon. Sorry, I'm sitting outside so my daughter doesn't hear this and there's a car going by. So I'm just going to mute for 1 second.
That's okay. No women of color, but I know. Not a woman of color, but I know facts. And it is the facts. And I'm entitled to my opinion. I know what I see. I know how it is for missing Indigenous women, or not even missing, murdered Indigenous women, minorities, period. It's the obvious, and I'm allowed to state the obvious. But I'm not making this about anything but Vaughn. That's just my opinion.
What I was going to say, though, is when we research stuff, one of the things we found out, too, is that African American men are like them hanging themselves as actually a very, very, like, it's such a small percentage, too. So you would think that that would give them even more kind of pause to say, like, hey, did this actually happen? And when in the police report, the officer also says something like, you know, she was smaller and she didn't think that she could pick him up. But then that led him to believe that it was more likely that he did this. So I'm thinking to myself, wait, okay, you just kind of contradicted yourself, because if you don't think that she could pick him up, then how the hell did she get him down?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. For him to say that you can tell that Vaughn is significantly bigger than Dre, you would think that that would be a huge red flag for him. Like, okay, I need to look into this a little bit deeper. And that's all I'm trying to say. Like, something's not right with it. Did you hear the part of Dre's mouth fell open when they said they got a heartbeat? A man not of color would have had the state police there. Yeah, this isn't about race.
I hope that
what race am I? Well, what does that matter? I'm Black. I'm biracial, but I'm Black. I wish people would stop thinking we live in a world that is colorblind. Unfortunately, the harsh truth is we live in a world where people are treated differently based upon race and status. Thank you so much, Avid. I appreciate you keeping it real. And I'm not making this about race, though. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying I think things would have been investigated a lot more thoroughly if it was a white man. And I also agree with Goose. That is there's a very, very low number. And I'm not saying it's not possible that he did this. I'm just saying it's a low number of how many Black men statistics show that do that.
Yeah, it's like 2 or 5%. It's really, really low.
It is low. And that's sometimes you go on statistics too. Race is an issue here. It's all about the cops not doing. Race is an issue here. It's not all about race, but I definitely think that race has something to do with why this was not investigated way more seriously, especially for a Marine. Is it possible that these are just the deputies that showed up? Like maybe there's a detective report somewhere, yet that hasn't come out? What do you think, Goose? So
there is a detective on the case now because the case is open. It is being investigated now. But, and I think too, like for people who are kind of going back and forth about things with just the involvement of race and stuff, I think they need to look at it both ways. Like, this should have been investigated even longer, no matter what the person's race was, because 31 minutes, like, that's ridiculous. I mean, Justin was talking about after this, because he's worked in a funeral home and in hospice, and he was talking about how when I think it was his father-in-law had passed away in his home, and they were there longer, and they even knew of him because of his work in a funeral home and working in a hospice and everything, and they even investigated that like a lot longer than this happened, and they knew who the guy was. And I mean,
and thank you, Lynette, for saying this. I really do feel like also, if this was a white man, mainstream media would have picked this up. That's just my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. But it's like I said, I'm not making this about that. But I really do think, because a Marine, like, that's something serious. And then seeing all these things that Dre has done, like, there's just so many questionable things that I don't understand why this isn't bigger. You know what I mean? I just don't get it. Okay, sorry, Goose, go ahead.
That's okay. I was just thinking too, like, you know, we've heard that she has allegedly called the police in the past too, when stuff has happened at the house. So if that's happened, I mean, you would think, okay, you go to the house, this happens. Maybe you would check a call log to see, like, have we been here before? Has there been anything having to do with DV or anything like that in the past? Because I feel like if they would have done that too, they would have seen, like, oh, wait, we were here like once or twice because they had some fights, or there were some issues or whatever in the past. And so that kind of surprises me as well. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into this. And again, I mean, think about it, like, not even really 30 minutes that they're actually doing stuff there. Like, that's just crazy. Like, we've been on this live stream longer than they investigated that. It's crazy.
I got what she said, Donna and Jess. Okay. And another thing too, Lynette says a good example, Kanika Jenkins story barely got headlines, but the Gabby Petito case, it was never ending. I don't have to show no facts here. It is what it is. I'm not turning this into race either. I'm just saying I do think that things would have been a lot different if this was a white Marine. Things would have been a lot more questionable. And just like Letitia said, her son, she messaged Molly Golightly and told her, my son wasn't even worth 45 minutes of their time. 45 minutes. Like, something's not right here. And what I do know is I have a lot of sheriffs in my family, okay? Statistics mean a lot to them, especially when it comes to detectives. I have detectives in my family too. Statistics mean a lot. That's a big thing that would have been a red flag for them when she said he did what he did. I don't want to say it, but when he did what he did. So.
Right. And what about, like she says in the report, like 2 months ago, he tried to do this. Okay. So Dre, what did you do when this happened 2 months ago? Did you try to call somebody? Did you call a hotline? Did you try to get him into therapy? Like, that to me is
if he attempted this,
super shocking.
If he attempted this 2 months ago on a closet door, which just does not sound right, but if he attempted this, what did you try to do? But I noticed in the police report, though, she did put in there that she told him to make an appointment with the doctors, but he never did. Now, Dre, do you really expect for us to believe that you told your husband, Mrs. Dr. Dre, the one who has been his caretaker, the one who tells the doctors what they can and can't do when it comes to her husband? You mean to tell me that you couldn't make an appointment for your husband? You told him to make a doctor's appointment for himself and he didn't go? No, that's you saving your ass, Dre. Allegedly. That's you saving your ass. If you're his caregiver, like you claim to be, and you know everything, you know the herbal supplements he's supposed to get for his seizures, all of these things, you let him sit there and have 7 seizures and you're trying to give him all this stuff allegedly, well, then you should have made him a doctor's appointment. And if you told him to make a doctor's appointment and he didn't, why didn't you make it for him and make sure that he did see that doctor? And if he tried to unalive himself once, you should have been on that. You're his caregiver. That's your responsibility.
And why not, like, reach out to his family. Like, I understand there were issues with the family, but you know what? I don't care. If I was with somebody and I had a falling out with their family and something was this serious where my spouse had tried to do that, I would be literally calling anybody and everybody that could potentially help or talk to him, because I know from losing my cousin 2 years ago, and it was such a shock to our family because we really had no idea that he was as depressed as he was. I mean, his nickname was literally Happy Jack. His entire life, it was Happy Jack, because he was just always so happy. And so when it happened, we were just like, oh my God, we were just, I don't know. I mean, I just think it's given the opportunity to have somebody do something, if that really truly happened. I mean, I do wonder, like, did that actually happen? Or is she using that as a cover for the door? Like, she's saying, like, oh, he would get verbally abusive after he went to therapy. And then she said it was physical therapy, but it wasn't. It was actually like counseling. And we heard him on the recordings at some points when he was saying, like, you know, they want you to go. You know, he was like, yeah, they don't think I have PTSD. Like, they want to talk to you. And she had such a big issue with that, you know? And so it's like I don't know. I question that, because we've seen those closet doors and we've seen just how like cheap they are, you know, and like bifold doors that are made like that, you know, I don't know. I don't believe that part. And if it did happen, I just think it's crazy that she didn't try to do anything to help the situation. Even if that meant reaching out to, you know, the lady that she didn't care for. At the end of the day, if you truly love your husband, you're going to do whatever you can to try to save his life. And
absolutely. And another thing too, Annette, now you're making this about race. And if you continue, then I'm going to have to block you. Okay. Because you're the one that can't get over that. Like, it is what it is. Go somewhere else and, you know, talk about that. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the investigation or lack thereof. And nobody's talking about race anymore but you. A 6-foot man tried to unalive himself in a closet. Come on, how big is the closet in question? Just like the shed beam, was it strong enough to hold his weight? It's definitely something to think about. Even the fact that he even questioned that Vaughn is significantly bigger than Dre. That would have, I'm not a police officer, and I would have been like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying?
I hope those police see that video where she's evidently like lugging him on her back into the house. Like, I guess when he was not feeling, when she brought him home from the hospital that time, I guess it was almost like she was carrying him on his back or something like that. And I saw somebody had asked, like, so the new report is out. We just played it, so I don't know if you just came in and maybe like you weren't here for when we played it, but we played it from Molly Golightly's channel because her and Justice for All got it earlier and they went over it, and so we were playing it. So you can either go back or go to their channel or something, because yeah, it's a new report. It's a supplemental report. There's a lot of stuff that it like there's some repetitive stuff and stuff like that, but it's not out like in, how do I say this? Like, that report hasn't been posted yet, but it was received today, and so sorry, I can't talk. They went over it, but I don't know if it'll be posted anytime soon or not, because there's things that need to be redacted on it and stuff like that. And I honestly don't think that I don't think the body cam will likely be out, or the 911 call, because I'm curious about the 911 call. I want to hear what she sounded like, you know, if she sounded like fearful, afraid, because the other thing I wonder is, you know, when she allegedly screamed and her daughter came out and she told her daughter, go back in, why didn't she tell her daughter, go back in and call 911 immediately? Don't ask, just tell them they need to get here right away. You know, I mean, I can understand you wouldn't necessarily want your daughter to have to say, like, this is what happened, but there's just a lot of things. And I know, like, I haven't been in that specific situation, having to call 911 for that reason. And so, you know, I can't put myself in her shoes, but I just feel like him stopping CPR to put the dog in, like, you know, that just, I don't know. That's just, It's just strange. But I kind of feel like they might not put the 911 call or the body cam out if it's being investigated, which I think would be smart. Because you wouldn't want somebody who's involved to try to create their own perfect, narrative.
Exactly. And I think it's sad in a lot of ways. I feel so bad for the family, especially Letitia, who hasn't even seen him yet. But that whole thing, what she said, the comment that she said to Molly Golightly holds weight. They couldn't even give her own son 45 minutes, that holds a lot of weight. It's sad. I don't understand it.
It's very sad.
Especially with the closet thing. And I always have mints. And I remember, I don't know why that sticks out to me though. I just remember when KJ played the recording and she just kept talking about, I need that closet door fixed. I need that closet door fixed because it's triggering for me. Every time I look at it, no, I need that. Either you're going to fix it or take the door off, because every time I look at that closet, it triggers me, and I always just thought that was weird for her to say. Like, why would you say that? It's a closet. Okay. He's going to fix it. You know what I mean? She said it had to be fixed where it didn't, basically there was nothing, like no screws loose, or like it had to be fixed perfectly. That's how she made it seem. I don't know if anybody else remembers that recording, but that just always stuck out to me. Not to mention, they stated the shed was dusty. So where are the areas where the dust was disturbed? Why wasn't the beam looked at?
So the beam was looked at. That was part of the report. In the supplemental part, the officer did talk about, sorry, there's a helicopter flying over now. The officer did talk about how there were, at the peak, it looked like it was roughly 7 feet, and there were 3 beams. And in the center beam, there were ridges in the metal roof where it looked like that's where the rope could go through, potentially. But then the other weird thing is, okay, so they talked about, one person said they thought that it was like a thin rope. The other person said they thought it was like a thick rope. And then somebody, like Vaughn's dad, when he talked about seeing Vaughn, and again, here's a trigger warning here, but he mentioned that when he saw Vaughn in the hospital, that his, there was, a mark from kind of like jawbone to jawbone on his neck, and it was like 2 inches thick. And some people that have discussed this have talked about how that's awfully wide, and even other people I've heard talk about it have talked about how, for such a short period of time, because again, we're talking that he allegedly woke up at 7:15, went. Now, again, she says she was on the couch, he was on the bed. He was in their bed. But we've heard in numerous recordings how pissed off she gets about him staying in the bedroom. She won't let him stay in the bedroom. He's the one who always has to go, into the piano room or, wherever. And so I think it's weird that he was in the room and she was on the couch, and that he got up when they have an attached bathroom, went out of their master, went into the kids' bathroom to brush his teeth. And then they ended up talking, and I think there was something in there about him taking his vitamins or something. And then she made him tea, and then they had a quote unquote disagreement. And there's something going on here. So I just think that's really strange. So you mean to tell me that this man woke up, he brushed his teeth, took his vitamins, drank some coffee, and then by 8, you guys have a disagreement, and then then this happens? I mean, I don't know. It's just strange to think that somebody would brush their teeth and take their vitamins and everything if this was their plan. My thought was what if they were arguing from the night before? And
Oh, I have a definitely a theory. I do want to show this video though, where Dre says the dog found Vaughn unconscious. I don't know if anybody has seen that video before. Let me see if I can bring it up.
I've heard about it, but I don't think I've actually seen it yet. And there's a video too that shows the closet doors because they had like holes in them.
Mm-hmm.
That's when somebody said that Dre had said like when he got irritated that night that he punched the closet doors. And then somebody else said, well, actually in one of her lives that she had allegedly done it and he didn't do it. So there was like conflicting stories there.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna show this real quick. Share my screen. Damn, I got so much stuff open.
And when it's okay, Jacob. He saw Vaughn unresponsive before I did. And I started doing CPR on Vaughn. And when I was like, I was screaming. And I was doing CPR on Vaughn. And when the ambulance got there, they said that his heart wasn't, he had no pulse. And they gave him, this is a bad angle. They gave him a medication and it restarted his heart. And so when they were wheeling him out on a gurney,
I'm sorry, but nobody cares about your freaking angle right there. I mean, the things that she says. And so that would be the dog that she said she was afraid might bite somebody and she had to stop CPR to go put in the house.
Also, RB, you're going to have to show something in your face before I let you on. And Jamie, thank you so much thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much for sending that to me, sweetie. Okay. Hey, RB.
Hi. So I've been a follower of Dre's for a long time, and
me too.
I feel like some of us, even though we're ex-followers, that we're like, stupid for not having seen this. So I just wanted to share a couple of things just from my perspective, so maybe people could understand a little bit easier. So first of all, when she talks about the therapist, the physical therapist that caused all these problems and people don't understand it, I remember a live several years ago that she spoke about this, and then she spoke about it again in Supporters right before this happened. He went and got a full body organ massage. So the massage was, the organs were the target. And she believes that is what caused this, that that massage did something to his organs that caused him to react the way that he did. It wasn't the mental health therapist that he saw or, a physical therapist. It was actually a massage therapist. And then the other thing is, people couldn't understand why Supporters were standing by her when she was refusing to allow her or his mom and dad from, well, not really his dad, his mom. So in supporters before this happened, and having followed her from before, there were a couple of late night lives, and I can't access them now. She's blocked anybody that wasn't a supporter from the beginning, it appears.
Right.
But there was a live, and she played it again in the recent supporters, but I remember that live from years ago. It was almost at the beginning of their lives, where Vaughn actually talked about his mom. He said the person that he refers to as mom was his grandma. And Dre was talking to him and saying, how he should reconnect with his mom, like his birth mom. Right. And he told us in that supporters that, maybe he should call his mom, but he can't trust her. And that he didn't have a relationship with his dad. So the information that we got, and then, fast forward to the supporters when all of this happened, and she replayed those, everybody was supportive, because when he said in the more recent video, oh, I'm going to go see my mom, he said he didn't have any problem back then with his brothers, but we thought he was going to see his grandma, not his birth mom. So it wasn't that now I feel really bad, because it appears he truly was trying to mend his relationship with his mom. And if there were any problems with his dad, it wasn't that he ever spoke about his dad. He just said that he didn't really talk to him, but there wasn't like anything wrong where he actually talked about why, he even said, and you could talk to supporters, even up to recently, they would remember it because it was talked about heavily, before this all happened. But when she replayed that live, he had said, when he went back home for a very brief amount of time, so his mom gave him to his grandma, and then he lived with her, and then he went back to his mom's. She had convinced him to go back, and he said it was the worst decision he had ever made.
Right.
So we were just supporting his voice and what we knew. And when he said, I'm going to go and see my mom because we got the RV, we think he's talking about grandma, not his mom.
Right.
So that's why, everybody was saying, well, his mom isn't even on the birth certificate, because she isn't. It's his grandmother that's on the birth certificate, because she truly did adopt him. But I do feel, in all honesty, after seeing all of this play out, that he was mending the relationship with his mom and his dad and his stepmom and his siblings. So I kind of feel bad, but I also feel it's unfair to judge people for, going with the information they had. Because it seemed like Vaughn was on board with everything.
From what I've seen too, she seemed like really, really manipulative of him as well. Like, just even like listening to some of the recordings where, he would try to talk, and then she'd have that certain voice where, she's the one recording, and you can clearly tell. And evidently he had started talking with his dad, like either in January or February of this year, but he was having to do it secretly. And then when he played this was like about 2 weeks before, 10 days before, when he talked with his mom and his siblings, and sounds like his niece or nephews. And, he was talking about reeling him back in and stuff. And, it was just so sad to hear him say that, and kind of see, like, at first she was like smiley, like Vaughn talked to his mom. And then like you could tell just from the look on her face that she was getting annoyed with it. And, why would, I guess, like, I don't blame you guys for, I feel like in a way you were manipulated by her. And so, I know how bad narcissists can be, and I'm not diagnosing her, but I'm just saying, like, she's got some similarities with it. And, we know that, like, 10 to 14 days before, he was all excited, talking to his mom, wanted to go see her and his brothers and family and everything. And then after this all happens, then, she puts out another video to almost make your brain go back in time. You know what I mean?
Right, right. And I think a lot of us fell into we thought that we were watching the American Dream. Now, I didn't think that they were the happiest couple that I ever saw, but a lot of people did. And they were envious of that. That would have been their dream marriage. But when you think about reality, we don't know everything. Just like if my life were put on the spotlight right now, there would be, if it would have been recorded and put online, there would be a lot of things that people could nitpick apart and make me look really bad, even though, maybe it wasn't the context, because a lot of people are commenting on a clip of a video and not the totality or context of, it being an extension of prior conversations that they had online as well. I'm not defending her at all. Like, I absolutely disagree with her. This is another thing too that I want you guys to look at, and maybe even look at the videos. And I think that you guys would be able to see it, so that, truth is spoken. So people were like, oh, she gave the kids all of this specialty, and specialty being the K word. She didn't always give them specialty. So there was a little grinder, and if you saw her giving something out of that silver herb grinder,
there's different things.
That wasn't the K. The K comes already ready to consume. You don't have to grind that anymore. It comes out of a bag. But some of her herbs came out of bags too. But she didn't give them anywhere near the amount of K that people are thinking. They're just assuming that everything she gave was that, and it wasn't at all. It was very minimal compared to the other things that she was giving them, and Vaughn as well. He did take K as well openly, but a lot of what he was given in, the final, I would consider the final days, was or since he was diagnosed with seizures, was more herbs than K. He was still taking the K, but it was far more herbs than it was the specialty. So you can't, and I think that's would be the only thing that would save her with regards to the children, because most of the time when she was on line, she gave them herbs that were mixed, and she more spoke a couple of times about giving K to, like, Bella for pain when she had the urinary tract infection. So unless you, and none of us know the totality of it because we aren't there.
Right. That's what I was going to say. Like, we don't know how much, I mean, me personally, I don't think any child should take the K stuff.
I absolutely agree.
And
I agree.
We don't know how much she was actually giving to whether, I mean, we could clearly see she was taking a lot of whatever, all sorts of stuff, passion flower, kava, all sorts of stuff. She was taking it by the heaping, spoonfuls. And I think that, the combination of some stuff is not good at all either, because you're taking stuff that's literally the same, it's doing the same type of thing for you. And, and the, we don't know if when she got off the live, if she was, given more. I think it's weird, the morning that this all happened, she made him a tea, and then the thing she tells the officer is, she thinks that maybe he has a buildup of K in his system, and maybe he just took too much. But one of the things that I noticed is that when she would ask him, hey, do you want to take some of this one or some of that one, and it had to do with the K because there was like 2 different types, then he would say, like, oh, okay, well, yeah. And then, like, so many times he would take a dose, and then she'd be like, oh, well, do you want some more? And he's like, well, I'm fine. But I guess, I could take some more. And so
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I just find that weird, the morning of, that she would put that out to the police officer to talk about how he was allegedly verbally abusive to her, excuse me. And that she's saying, like, oh, well, I think he might have a buildup of K in his system. Mm-hmm. Like, from all the videos we saw, we didn't really ever see him come to her and say, oh, hey, my back hurts, I need to take something. Usually it was her offering it to him. And if you've ever been in an abusive relationship, one of the things that you don't do is you don't tell your partner no, because you
Right.
know that all hell is going to break loose. And so, yes, at the end of the day, it was his ultimate decision. But when you're trying to just kind of like appease the devil or, you know, kind of calm the waters, you're going to just kind of do what they say and hope that, you know, they don't hate you enough that they're going to kill you, you know. And I don't mean to be extreme, but I'm a survivor of DV. And so I know firsthand just how it is. And those are, you know, I try to not go through that too much in my head because of being a survivor, but I can't help but look at certain videos of the way that she treated him and just see the extreme manipulation and the control and just everything.
Well, I agree. And I wanted to tell you the 2 times, I remember 2 specific times in videos when she was saying, "Oh, have you had enough?" Or one time she made it, she took a spoonful and then she gave him his and asked if he had enough or if he wanted more. That was not K. That was a mixture of herbs. That was the passion flower and the kava and the valerian root that she mixed together. It was rare that we saw him taking K on screen from the time that he was diagnosed. Before that, he was very open about it. But after that, it was more that concoction of herbs. And I think that concoction of herbs, if you read about them, they are like a sedative type.
Yeah, they're like Xanax.
Yeah. And then combine it with whatever she was getting, you know, across the border. That I think was more of his demise in combination with the K. But I think that it would have still been the demise, you know, if the K wasn't a factor. And she believes that his seizures were triggered by, she'll tell everyone that it was triggered by mental health issues from when he was a kid. And I don't agree with that. He did speak about, you know, not having a relationship with his mom, not being able to trust her, but that was years ago. And now I know that video, when he was standing in the kitchen and his face lit up, and he was talking about speaking to his brother and his other brother and his mama. He was talking about Letitia. And you could see, you can't deny that smile spoke love, that he loved his mama. He was working it out. And if there's one thing that I can attest through it all is that Vaughn was a sweet, gentle soul to every single person he talked to, whether it was online or, you know, having conversations with people individually behind closed doors. He was very sweet and he was very loyal, and his family came first no matter what. So I think that she absolutely had influence over him without a doubt.
She had a lot of influence over him.
I agree. I don't want to take much more time, but I wanted to give you guys 2 other things really quick so that you guys can look at that before any more misinformation comes out. I believe in the police report that Molly read, it did say that they recognized that home from previous calls on one of the officers' reports. And those reports are them verbalizing their body cam. So they took the report when they were there. And then at the beginning of each one of those statements, it talks about the body cam versus just regular memory. They went in and sat down, watched their body cam and visualized, or, you know, wrote down a report after replaying what they saw in their body cam.
Right.
And then also I have a friend that's a 911 operator. I don't think Dre stopped giving CPR and put the dog away on her own. I think the 911 reporter or the 911, what do you call him? Representative.
Operator,
yes. Told her to go secure the dog so that it didn't delay getting him help when, you know, the fire department, the aid car, and the police got there, which is not unusual if they felt that there was a dog that could.
Well, did you ask her that? Because like that wasn't, I guess I'm just curious because that wasn't actually even, that part wasn't even like disclosed or anything on the report.
I think they did say something about the dog being put away. And I think that once the 911 call is released, we're going to hear the operator asking her to secure the dog. I'm confident about that. If it doesn't, I would be very, very surprised. I have a disabled brother, and when we have a American bully who doesn't like people, and they always ask me to secure him.
Okay, but what do you mean by the you're saying that it did say in the police report that the house looked familiar to the
It
police?
did. In one of the
Because
statements,
I didn't read that in the police report.
I think it was one of the two that Justin read. It said that they had recognized the home from previous calls.
Okay, I'll have to listen to it again because I didn't hear that part.
That's why I'm wondering if there were previous calls. I feel like there's an even bigger injustice if there
Well,
are
we
not.
know there's previous calls because
How come they're not coming up?
She called the authorities on him because he wanted to take his computer, So
Right.
we know that there's previous calls. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was at least 2, if I recall correctly.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's what we were talking about because we listened. I don't know if you were here when we listened to the Justin and then Molly go over this stuff. And
Right.
That's why I was a little surprised when you mentioned the thing about the operator saying, I mean, I understand that usually they would say, go ahead and put your dog away. But if you're in the middle of giving somebody CPR, usually they're not going to tell you to stop when you're also like that far away, when you're in a shed and you're not like right by the door. So I'm just going to like wait until that comes out because
because I don't understand if if the dog, even if the dog was bothering her, or how some dogs may interfere or lick, or I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a dog, but I will say that if you're giving CPR, that's an important moment. Nothing else matters.
Every second counts. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nothing else matters. So I definitely will be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, because the officer, basically what the officer had said was in the report, and this was another part that was written a little bit strange, was basically it said that she had stopped giving CPR in order to put the dog in the house. And so, like you said, it's possible that maybe the gal said that, but it's also possible that when the officer arrived, that she was at the door either talking to the kids or putting the dog in right then, and then asked her like, well, what are you doing? And she was like, oh, well, I had to stop giving CPR because I had to put the dog in the house. And we don't know exactly, when that happened. Did it happen before the officer got there, or did it happen, because the officer was like, she called at 8:28. The call was dispatched at 8:32, and then they were there or 8:28 she called, 8:32 they were dispatched, and by 6 minutes later at 8:38 is when the officers arrived. So
if she did it on her own, I would say shame on her. Whenever I've made a call, it's asked of me before I ever even give them further information. Like they'll ask for the basic reason of the call, and then is there a dog that could be potentially dangerous? Can you please put it away? And you're still on the phone with them.
Yeah.
And put it away. But I mean, I would agree, regardless of whether if a 911 operator told me to do that and my husband's life depended on it, because I've been through a time when my mom had a heart attack and she was without oxygen for 10 minutes, and that was all it took for her. That was it. So knowing that, I wouldn't stop to put I would tell them, kill my dog if you have to. I mean, I love my dog with all my heart, but I'm not going to choose my dog above my husband.
Right. And she'd already screamed once, and the daughter had come out, and obviously she didn't want her daughter to see what was going on, but like she could have called and said, don't come around the corner, but call the dog and put the dog in the house right now and go back inside. Like she screamed one time already for her daughter to hear her. So like, I guess that's the other thing I'm thinking of is like, I just feel like there were other options. Like my father passed away from a heart attack, and
beautiful Lucer says, I'm CPR certified. You're under law. You cannot stop.
Well, I'll be interested to see what it says.
Yeah, because I don't know any police officer that would tell somebody to stop CPR. And if that's the case, that's messed up. And you still shouldn't stop. Like that to me is common sense. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of ways, if they was to tell her that, that's messed up.
Yeah, I don't think she had started it, but I would like to.
Well, no, it says in the report, that part I do remember. It says that she stopped CPR to put the dog in the house. That is in the report. Yep.
I wouldn't have done that regardless. And I don't know if they would have said that or not. I thought that it was that she put the dog away and then began.
Nope.
CPR.
It says she stopped, because that's what got my attention. I would have thought it was different if she ran the dog in the house or something and then started, but it literally says that she stopped. And then when
that is suspicious in itself.
Yeah. That's why I was saying, I wondered if it was when did that happen? Did it happen over the call? I mean, did she tell him that, or when he showed up to the house, was she like at the door? And I mean, I'm sorry, but then my brain goes to, did she ever even give him CPR? And we would never know that. There's no way to know, because people have already done CPR, in addition, if she did, and the machine was used, which if anybody's ever seen that machine work before, it is intense. It is extremely intense. And so, and I think it's also strange how the officer notated in his supplemental report that when he told her that they got a pulse, her reaction.
Yeah, I heard that. But you know what I took away from that? There was speculation, and I can't remember if it came from Dre on a supporter live after she revealed. Well, no, she didn't reveal. She didn't. I never saw a live after the police report was released. But I think when she was talking about, there was a supporter live that she talked about, and I don't remember it word for word, but she talked about when they responded that she thought she was a widow because he had no pulse, that she was a widow for a little while. And I can't remember if it was her that said 30 minutes or if it was someone, when you watch all of these lives and, hear so many opinions, it starts to jumble together. But I remember hearing it somewhere. And when I heard how she reacted, what I thought was, okay, the first officer got there within, 9 minutes?
6 minutes.
6 minutes. And then EMS or fire department arrived shortly after within, because they couldn't, or they thought, I think the response from the officer was, I thought the fire truck was here first or second. So that means if you add it all up, they were giving compressions that were, legit trained CPR, not, Dre not knowing how to give CPR and just doing her best. They were giving him oxygen. So that means he wasn't without oxygen for that long. It was circulating whether his heart was beating or not. And to get his pulse back and they were gone within 31 minutes, he wasn't without air for that long.
Right. It makes you wonder, why would she say that?
Yeah. Unless he was in there longer. And I don't want to speculate to that because it breaks my heart and it makes me just want to.
You would think that she
is heartbreaking, period.
Right. And if this really did happen, like she's saying it happened, how long did he, when he left the house and went out to the shed and you followed him, how soon after did you follow him? That's one thing that ticks me off about the report. She says she followed him out there. Okay, ma'am, how long was it after? Did you follow him right away? Because we've seen videos of Dre when she doesn't want to let him leave just to go to the store. Okay, well, you can go to the store without me and then come back and get me and I'll finish doing my makeup, but don't you look at any girls.
And what do we do if someone looks at you?
It just seems as though she follows him everywhere. Why didn't she follow him to the shed?
That's there's so many contradicting things with her behavior on a live that we have witnessed with our own eyes. And then that day, supposedly everything changes and she doesn't chase after him when they get in a fight and try to talk to him. And he just walks out. And then, but the thing is she says she followed him out there. She didn't say he left and then I went later to go check on him. You know what I mean? When I'm thinking of following somebody, usually you're kind of close behind.
And I would feel like if he had attempted that, 2 months prior, there's no way in hell, if you love your husband, that you're going to let him walk out that door in his pajama pants and no shirt and not follow him.
Yeah.
At least not me. And she, I consider was, well, I can't say that fairly, but because of me watching so much of her life, it seemed like she was, very controlling and very overly in love with him. So I wouldn't let him walk out that door without following him, because something would be very strange.
And I also think with Dre, she was obsessed with him.
Yeah.
It was
Agreed.
a very, very toxic type of love. And because he was getting older, I think he finally started realizing that, and he finally started opening his mouth to everything that was going on. And to me, I just don't understand how you have all of these video recordings out here. You see the things that this woman was doing. This woman obviously needs to be held liable for something. The fact that she sat there while he had 8 seizures should be enough, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm not an officer. That's just allegedly. But the fact that she sat there and he had 5 seizures, and she literally just sat there and didn't do anything about it. Guess what? To me, that is a crime. That's just my opinion.
She admitted later that it was actually over 8 because somebody had said like, oh, 7 or 8. And then she goes, well, actually, it was more than that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, are you kidding me? Like, even just listening to those seizures, like that one night that she recorded, like, that is so heartbreaking. Like, that man is like, he's in pain, like.
And that's why we're going to be talking about that tomorrow, as far as like, what are people's opinions is Munchausen and versus DV, because I do think it's a good conversation to have, because we don't know who else out there is going through this as we speak. A lot of people are, And
can I ask you, did both of you guys follow her for a long time, or just?
I don't think Goose did.
So I have a question, and I feel bad. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Teaya?
Teaya.
So I know a lot of people have gotten it wrong in saying that her oldest daughter had seizures because of the K and herbs, but really that happened before. She hasn't had them for years. I think she was like 4 years old or something. Mm-hmm. But then for me, and I never thought about this until now because of everything coming out, and that's what just sucks. You never want to see this happen to anybody.
Right.
How does that make you feel about the possibility of her having that Munchausen? Because her, the child's father said that he didn't believe that she had him, that she was doctor shopping and that kind of thing. Like, it was almost like he made me feel like, and I don't know whether to believe it because it was reported by Without a Crystal Ball.
Yeah.
But she said when she spoke to the dad's friend that he didn't think that the oldest daughter had them, that she was just doctor shopping, and then suddenly they went away and she's not on medication now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that even adds to the argument that there is seriously a mental health.
A lot of people didn't believe. I'm sure he wasn't the only one who didn't believe her. She definitely shows signs of it. I mean, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor. I'm just saying from my observation and from doing research, and I'm still doing research, she shows signs of it. Like, it seems like it makes her feel important to have people around her that are sick.
Yeah, like that she can take care of and kind of be the hero of. And I think just to clarify one thing, I believe that the father, through the special source or whatever the hell you want to call it, said that the daughter had 1 seizure when she was young. And then Dre tried to say that she had more seizures and that she was trying to control him and this, that, and the other. But then the father said that when she said, oh, well, she had gone so long without having seizures. And then when she went and visited him, she had another one. And then the father was saying, no, that wasn't true. So we don't know if that was or wasn't true, but I just wanted to clarify that it was said that according to the friend of the father, whoever the source is, if it's real or not,
we don't know if that's real.
Supposedly she didn't have one with him. And it could be too, even let's say she did have a seizure. It could be that she's going through a detox because of all the stuff that she's been taken, that Dre had been giving her. And
it makes you wonder, was there something that she, and I hate this speculation, was there something she was using back then? Because I know that did you ever see that story about the mom that had the daughter and had convinced everyone that in
Yep.
the community that she had cancer, and
Yeah,
he even convinced the child, and then eventually the child realized that it was all
Her and her.
yeah.
Yeah.
So was there something that she was, meddling with back then? Because the whole K thing and the herb thing is really fairly recent compared to the length of time that she's been, sharing her life on Facebook.
Right.
This has not been her ordinary. I mean, in the beginning, she was kicking back shots and laughing, and she was still. I called her very charismatic. She was very funny. She was very good at makeup, and because they were newly married and a young family, when you're young and happy and in love, you tend to act a little crazy sometimes, and you are charismatic and fun and bubbly and all of that, but it just seems strange to me that the oldest daughter experienced them years ago, and then Vaughn the dog and the chicken, I don't know. I hope that when I go to bed each night, I just pray that it all comes out.
Drop
And
something.
Right.
Yeah. And that
We all do.
if it is, if Dre is to blame, that she gets the help that she needs and has to pay the price for, whatever she has done. I pray to God that she, did not do anything on that day, but I feel like there were things that were said verbally that kind of led to that, and possibly even knowing if I say X, Y, and Z, this is going to make him mad. Because she knew
Right.
that by making him mad that she had caused.
She could cause a seizure.
Yeah.
Right.
But although I don't think in watching the videos that she was proud of that. I think when you get mad sometimes, I think that she sees red. And this is by no means an excuse. Please don't take it that way. But I think sometimes when people do not have control of their emotions, they do and say things that cause real problems and real hurt and real pain. And ultimately, why Vaughn is where he's at.
Yeah.
But I after watching her confess those things, even with the way that she treated her children in the past, it didn't look like she was proud of that.
And that's just something that I agree with as well. I don't think that what happened, and this is just my theory, allegedly, I don't think that what happened was purposely done. I think it was an accident and it was covered up. That's just my opinion.
I don't think it was
Allegedly
either. I pray for them all. And I thank you guys for continuing to talk about it and getting the story out there. And I just hope for, the truth to come out ultimately.
And thank you so much for coming up. You can come up again anytime, sweetie.
You're welcome. Thanks for talking to me, you guys.
Thanks for coming up.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Just wanted to say one thing really quick, and then I'll hop down to, I feel I have the same feeling as you do, that because
always makes me bite my nails. Go ahead.
Because she was so obsessed with him. I think, infatuated, obsessed, whatever you want to call it. I mean, she did not want to live without this man. She, even just how she would speak about him, in the hospital, or she would just say he can't live without me, and I am the best thing that ever happened to him. And I'm just thinking to myself, oh, sweetie, you really don't know how you look right now, because even just the things that she would say, I just think about if my sweetie was in the hospital and you would just be oh my God, I can't live without him. But she's saying things oh, he can't live without me. And it's just that
she wanted it that way, and she was going to make sure it stayed that way. That's how I get it. And I also feel like she is that type of person that she was going to do whatever it took to make sure that Vaughn needed her.
Right.
Needed her by his side, that she was going to make sure that he was 100% dependent upon her, which is why she managed all the money, all of these things. It's definitely abuse, verbally, mentally, because that was his money too. They were a married couple. She made sure that he was completely 100% dependent upon him or upon her. And that is very, very toxic. That is very unhealthy. And I believe he thought it was normal, but towards the end, he started seeing, and there's no end, but I'm saying towards, as their relationship progressed and as he got older, he's like, wait a minute, this isn't right. This isn't normal. This is not how you're supposed to live life. You know, this is not how a marriage is supposed to be.
Right. According to the father too, he said, you know, when he started talking to him again, I think he said like February-ish, that they would talk and he would like have to talk in code, but he felt very strongly that he was trying to leave. And, you know, they always say that the most dangerous time if you're in an abusive relationship is when you try to leave. And I mean, we can kind of look at even the times when he wanted to take a break just to go, you know, stay in a hotel and, you know, yeah, he couldn't do that. And I feel like sometimes, in my opinion, I feel like maybe she like maybe did certain things. I'll just put it that way, to where then she could look like the hero afterwards and then be like, oh, but baby, look, like I helped you, you know, like you
there's a lot of lessons to be learned with this case.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot, because it just shows that no matter what relationship that you're in, your whole life should never be so toxic where your whole life is that person. You should still have things outside like of your marriage or your relationship, like a hobby or, you know, something. You know what I'm saying? A person should be able to go out or go to the store by themselves without their girlfriend or boyfriend telling them, don't look at anybody, don't talk to anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't stop people from looking at you. You know?
Yeah, I would start thinking like, if you're telling me that, like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It would make me think like the reverse. And then, you know, you think about it, like she had everybody around her. She had her husband, she had her kids, she had all these paparazzi people, she had all the followers, she had this, that, and the other. And what did Vaughn have?
Right. And
you know, he couldn't even have his family. And I think to her, it was almost like, I don't even want you to have that family because I don't have mine. Like I just watched a live last night where, you know, she starts talking about her family and how she doesn't have a good relationship. And I know she had a relationship with her mom, has one, it's like rocky or whatever. And there had been some problems there with like alcohol or something. But I know in the live that I watched, she was talking about how, you know, she just couldn't be like, even if that's, it was weird because it was almost like you could start to see kind of a sad side to her. Like she did want her family in her life, but then she quickly played that tough front, like, but they're just not good for me. You know, and it's kind of like, that's what people say when they're just trying to kind of cover the hurt that they have. And so I kind of wonder, like,
well, she definitely projected a lot of her life and her problems and her emotions. She projected a lot of that to Vaughn, in my opinion. Like, she did a lot of projecting, and most importantly, and what I've always thought of Trey, even when I used to watch her and I watched her changing as she grew, because it started getting to her head, in my opinion, she has a God complex for sure. She definitely does. Even in videos, her saying, I'm the mother, I'm the head of this household. I'm the one that makes the decisions. I'm the one that takes care of everybody. I'm the doctor. I'm this, I'm the doctor. I'm the teacher. It's all about her. No matter what the situation is, everything is about her. Everything.
Right. And I've just thought of two quick things and then I promise I'll hop off panel. But so one person in chat had put that they thought that they gave him Narcan. I believe because she said, you know, that they'd given him something to start his heart. And usually when somebody is unresponsive, they have a heart attack or something like this happens, what they give them is actually like epinephrine, a combination of epinephrine. That's what they gave my father when he had his heart attack. But unfortunately, it didn't work. And then the other thing was the paperwork for the house that has recently come out showing that she, you know, we knew that she wasn't on the deed. We'd heard about that part, but the paperwork that came out that actually said that in the event of a divorce, that Vaughn would get the house and that the deed was set up to where she would only get the house in the event that he died. You're muted.
That was his house.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it sounds like somebody may have gifted it to him. There was some sort of a thing that I saw, and I was just like, wow, that's like so incredible to know that somebody, you know, it sounds like it was somebody who had it was like somebody who appreciated him like being a vet and gifted him that house. And I mean, that's an amazing gift to give somebody and stuff.
I think ultimately the most important thing, before I wrap this up, I think ultimately the most important thing that a lot of people I haven't really seen said, some people probably said it, but she had a lot to gain by Vaughn no longer being around, if that makes sense. There's just a lot of things that would work in her favor if he was no longer around.
And not meaning like if he left.
Exactly. Not meaning if he left, with him no longer being around or incapacitated. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. Allegedly, I feel like most of the things that they had was in Vaughn's name.
I think everything was, because one of the things that came out too was that I guess she wasn't so good at either paying her bills, or she had like some issues with some debt or something like that. So everything, even like the truck wasn't in her name, and but she couldn't be on the house because of the way that whole thing went down as a gift or something like that.
Yeah, that was his house. All of those things. I'm just saying, not saying that anything was purposely done. This is allegedly my opinion. I just feel like, you know, if he left her or whatever the situation is, well, guess what? That's not her house. He could have kicked her out.
Yeah, it's his truck, his trailer, his
everything.
house.
So she had a lot to gain by him not being around or incapacitated, or him not being able to help himself, or whatever the situation is. And she also had a lot to lose if he was to leave her. Obviously, if he was still here and not in the hospital bed, fighting for his life, if he just would have left her, she had a lot to lose. So if that makes sense, she had a lot to lose if he would have just left her and said, you know what, Deuces, get out of my house. I will figure everything out on my own. And she had a lot to gain for him to be in the condition that he's in. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm going to hop down.
Thank you so much.
Yep. You're welcome.
We'll come up again tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, you guys, this has been a long live. Thank you guys for being here. You guys are always amazing. This is always like, you know, a hard thing to talk about, but it's something that I feel is necessary to talk about. And with me, what I'm trying to do is break down every aspect of Dre, you know, bringing attention to her and talking about what a lot of people are talking about, which is, you know, Munchausen by proxy, abuse. And those are very important topics and issues to talk about, because guess what? We don't know. Obviously, there's millions of people out there who are going through the same thing that Vaughn endured. And it's sad, everything that he endured, but I do want to bring attention to her behavior. I want to break that down because I've always been interested in those kinds of things anyway. Psychology was one of my favorite subjects in college. So I do want to break down her as the person, the way that she acts, the things that she's done. And like I said, the way that this case was handled is so unfortunate. My heart and prayers every day out to the family, praying for Vaughn to pull through this, because regardless of what anybody says, in my opinion, miracles happen every single day. So keep praying for the family, keep praying for Letitia, keep praying for Vaughn. And we will continue to talk about this tomorrow. Anybody's welcome to come up on panel when I open it, just to let you know. Don't be shy. If you have something to say it. We all want to hear what you have to say. And everybody brings something interesting to things. So I'm always eager to hear what people have to say, always. And then one last thing. One of my favorite creators that did that talked about this case, which I was really happy that she did. You may not like her opinion, but I do suggest watching her video, and that is Paris Milan. She is amazing. She killed it on this case as far as talking about every aspect of this case. She just is not as, she doesn't look at the case the same way others do. And it's understandable. You have to be able to take other people's opinions, and people are entitled to their opinions. But more or less, I just wanted you guys to see the breakdown of the case. She did an amazing job. And we will talk about this again tomorrow. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your night. It is 3:30 in the morning here. So, you know, I got to get to bed, which I probably won't go to bed. I'm going to make some French fries because I love French fries. But regardless of anything, Without a Crystal Ball is a mess. She needs to stop talking about this case. You can always send me an email, message me on Facebook if there's anything that you want to make me aware of about Without a Crystal Ball. She's still covering this case. She's just talking a whole bunch of BS, and I will continue to call her out on it. Love you guys so much. Deuces. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you to my amazing mod Goose, and I'm probably going to be modding some other people tomorrow because I need more mods, but that's for tomorrow. Love you guys. Deuces. Have a good night. Thanks for being here.